unmuted.
Dredge, I'm going home.
I might.
We're live.
We're live.
So we shouldn't talk about the...
That was good. Dylan got nervous for a second.
I didn't get nervous. I was feeling good.
Wait, what?
That's racist.
I don't know. What does that even mean?
Well, I don't...
I'm banning
him.
I'm banning him. Setting time him out.
Time out, 10 minutes. 10 minutes. I'm timing everyone.
Thanks for letting me know. Hello, everyone. It's Dylan from Yugioh Everything, and welcome back to another episode of Talking Yugioh Crazy 8's. This is episode 62, Cat to the Future. I want to thank... Pete did not know that time. I want to thank all of you guys for coming. This is going to be, just like last week, I think this is going to be a pretty crazy episode because the content of the episode was pretty insane. And it's the first time in a while all 5 of us are here in the basement, which is really, really cool. So we are super excited to break down everything from this episode. And for these gentlemen to my left, we are also going to read later the summaries for 63 and 64 in the titles for 65 and 66 as this arc wraps up in the next 2 episodes. So that's going to be exciting. Yeah, there's 2. 64, it should end. It should end in 64. I mean, we'll see if they extend it. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun this episode. This was a wild one. No duel, but an insane amount of plot. I did a review for it yesterday where I said it was probably one of the best Yu-Gi-Oh episodes, maybe of all time, honestly. Like I rate it very highly, especially for an episode that does not have a duel in it.
Yes.
From a non-dueling perspective.
For that, yeah.
From just a plot dump perspective, I think it's one of the best of all time in the series.
Can I say something about that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Say it.
I was watching this episode like the entire time, like all the stuff that's happening. I'm freaking out. I'm texting Dylan while I'm watching it. I'm like, oh my god, because I knew he had already watched it. And it gets to the end in the preview, and I'm like, holy crap, I forgot there's still, like, the Phaser Udius duel that needs to happen.
Yeah.
Because I was so invested
Yeah.
in them going back to, to freaking Goha City and just... watching that whole episode, I was like, holy crap, this is awesome. I can't wait to see what they're going to do with this next. And then the next episode, the previews, Udius. I'm like, oh, yeah. That whole thing's still going on.
That main character?
Yeah.
And that's been, I think that's been pretty good as well. Like, we don't know what Phaser's secret is.
Yep.
We don't know, the whole future of whether UTS even exists as a company or not might depend on the result of this duel. So, like, there's a lot to get into with that. So there's like 2 really compelling storylines right now going on as this arc is rapidly approaching its conclusion. And we are going to break it down the best that we can for all you great people. I want to say thank you to Pete, Dredger, Nick T, and Cal, as always, for joining me. Of course. I want to thank everybody who donated and super chatted in last week's episode. A huge thank you to Legendary Duels, Max, Colin Cleaves, Gravity Hero, Stinkfly, Natalie Lopez, Pink Rick, Pick Rick, Ice Aiden, Jack TCG VCG, Electric Kevin, Jarek, Rita, Awad, Angie, Limestone, Brian Ford, Solid Stack, and Crystal Colden. A huge thank you to everyone who supported the channel in that way in last week's episode. Love and appreciate all of you guys. If you want to donate, it's not necessary at all. 2 ways to do it. The link in the description or the YouTube Super Chat feature. Either way, I hope you tune in. I hope you enjoy the episode. And you can also stream this episode on streaming platforms, including YouTube's, Spotify, and Apple Music, and Pandora. And some other great platforms. Wherever you get your podcast from, probably. So, we've got a lot. I got my notes here. We've got a lot.
That's a lot of notes.
Yeah, we've got a lot to get into.
Wow.
Well, we got a lot to get into. We got the whiteboard set up in case. If any of you guys want to use the whiteboard, it's set up. We got the camera ready for it. So that's an option. The whiteboard might get busted out here today.
Oh boy.
Which one of you guys wants to go first?
I think Caliber should start off.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Talk about like a boomerang.
Dude, I was like,
Wow. All right. I'll go first.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah. In honor of
You weren't here last week too. So
me not being here, sure.
That's fair.
But yeah, this episode to me was just wild. Like, obviously the whole episode last week that I obviously wasn't here to talk about was them kind of going through this card dimension and eventually making their way out. Mm-hmm. But it was so obvious yet so not obvious that they were going to run into Schrodinger's cat when they came into the future.
He
was in serious denial.
Was so mad.
I watched that. Like, it made it
was
made
hilarious.
so
He's
much
like,
sense,
"You got
but at the
shame."
same time, I was like, come on, like really?
Yeah,
But it kept with the cat theme too, which is obviously
It made sense.
It made perfect sense.
Oh, perfect sense.
Just the whole kind of going through the entire like Goha city and them kind of bringing the cat up to speed as well on what they're doing, why they're there, and then them kind of just saying, history actually didn't change when you brought Rush Tools in all that time ago. To me, it was like they're all so worried about that. They're like, oh no, what's gonna happen to the future? What's gonna happen to the future? And he's like, yeah, no, everything's basically the same, which I don't think is necessarily true. I think there's more to that.
I agree with that.
I think it's one of those things where like, yeah, nope, everything's good here, nothing to worry about. I think there's a lot to worry about. There's going to be other things that are going to become uncovered there, but just as like an overall thing, the episode, the connection with Luke, like when he sees him, he picks up Yuga and like brings him home and lets him stay in his room. Like you could tell he felt the connection, but obviously you're not going to look at a cat and be like, oh, that's probably Yuga.
Mm-hmm.
And like Yuga obviously staying silent so that he doesn't know that it's him. When I'm watching it, I'm sitting there like, please say something. Like at one point, it looked like he was going to. I'm like, do it, just do it.
In his room.
When he was in his room. And then, but I don't know. I really like this episode, and like you said, I think this is my favorite episode of the show so far.
Yeah,
like, I liked it a lot.
Well, so Nico ratings came in for this.
Oh, how bad?
So
10 out of 10.
This is the first episode that I've ever seen since I've been paying attention to these ratings back in Arc 5 that didn't have anyone vote for 4 or 5, which is very bad or bad.
Wow.
I've never seen that before.
Wow.
Both were 0%. Wow. So this has to be one of the highest rated episodes probably in Yu-Gi-Oh! Nico history.
Wow.
So obviously the fans over in Japan felt very similarly
I loved it.
Yeah, I mean really. There's a lot to get into here. There really is. I want to keep it general, and then I have like 7 different topics.
I didn't want to jump into two.
No, you did a good job. Do any of you guys want to just kind of jump in here?
Yeah,
we'll go down the list.
Because
you heard what we had to say.
A big thing for me was actually something that we mentioned at the beginning of the show. It was, when there was a lot of speculation as to whether was this a prequel, a sequel. Now we have a word for like interquel. And one thing that came up was the idea that if this is a prequel, well, where are all the aliens? And then maybe there's something nefarious implied.
Yeah.
Well, this isn't even something we mentioned last week or the week before, but like now they kind of snap us back to reality. Well, where are the aliens?
Yeah.
And that is concerning. They reminded us, well, that's a concern because if the past there's aliens and the future there's not.
And we've been underground in the Sevens arena where it's all that the Goha employees
Nobody
are
there.
down there. There's no alien underground residential area.
Descendants of aliens?
Maybe.
Some implication?
But Schrodinger, who is very well versed in knowledge because he works under Nail and he has access to the database, as we saw in this episode, when they asked him about aliens, he was like, aliens?
Yeah.
Like, that's
concerning.
Yeah.
It's concerning.
No, I agree. And that, like, it gives me kind of chills even thinking about it because I think that has pretty effed up implications.
Yeah, he said he was going to get rid of...
I think the Vulgarians are probably still stuck in the war, dying over and over, getting revived over and over, because they never get involved in this on the Sevens timeline. And 2, what happens to all of the aliens that were living in... Like, it's kind of effed up when you start thinking about the implications.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. As far as, I think, our timeline, because I think things maybe could change in a way that's more positively spun. Mm-hmm. But as far as we have it now, that's a big question mark and a concerning one at that. Except for... was it Sirocco? Who was the...
Sirocco at the very end.
Yeah, which was also a very interesting nod.
Very weird.
So this episode gave us a lot, and I just really, really enjoyed. It's probably my favorite, at least top 3 of Go Rush so far.
Yeah. That's fair.
Because we got just so much. They just kept like giving us all the tie-ins, all the explanation, all the feelings too, like the sentiment behind Yuamu and Yuhi, and like the whether UTS is gone or not for them. Like, it's important to them that like they make things right. Especially it's important to them to help Yuga. And like I don't know, there was some emotion behind this episode, and I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
I think with the UTS part too, like they obviously look it up in the database, and it's like she's like, we know all of this. Like it stops right where we know everything.
Right, which is also weird.
Which is weird because in that sense, that means right now while you're sitting here, UTS could be coming to an end.
Exactly.
Right? Or it could be somebody purposely went in and erased that data from the machine.
I don't think that line where he said, "Oh, well, some records must have been lost when he converted them from analog to digital." I don't think that was just like a throw.
No,
I think there's something like
not.
They left
lost.
it open.
Yeah,
they left it
exactly.
open intentionally. And the other thing that scene does is it 100% confirms that this is on the same timeline. Because there were still people who thought maybe Go Rush was an AU to Sevens. Yeah. But now we're in the Sevens world, and we see photos of everyone that worked at UTS, of Yuhi and Yuamu. Yep. So that data is there in Sevens, which means it's all one connected timeline. Yes. So that was also cool to see
means
that.
It truly is a prequel.
Which it does lead to one thing, though, for me, which is weird. Because in this sense, time travel may not work the way that we're expecting it to, because there's debate amongst the characters of who's in the spaceship. Yuga says probably not, but the other characters believe it still could be. If it is our Yuga, then time travel isn't this one-to-one thing. Yeah. And that's where it gets a little weird.
Yeah. Time travel is weird. Time travel can be very weird, and we last week felt that maybe the reason that the ship enters and Yuga entered were caused kind of
but it seems like there might be a whole day between.
It was a whole day. It was a whole day. So we were rolling about that.
It's weird.
It's very weird.
It's weird. And that makes me excited.
No, it makes me very excited. I mean, I got theories regarding the timelines and everything that we might use the whiteboard for. We'll get into that in just a little bit. Don't worry, chat. Dredge, what are your thoughts on the episode?
A great episode. Kind of exactly what Cal, Nick T said. Top 3 for the show for sure. Probably as you said, I don't know. I'd say it's the best Yu-Gi-Oh episode I've ever watched, but non-dueling episode that I've ever watched. It's got to be 1 or 2. I think there's like one other episode I'm thinking of that had like kind of connections like that. But just seeing kind of our Sevens character, nostalgia, even the intro, rewatching the end of that duel. Even though all the lines, everything is perfectly placed, and I've said this, I think the writers of Go Rush have done an incredible job the past few weeks. And even though that one, I don't know what week it was like very iffy, but everything else has been just great. So again, overall really excited. The only thing, again, they hit all the nails in the head. I don't think I have anything else really to jump in. I want to get more into the theorizing anyway. One thing though that still is where I'm getting confused is how did we go from Go Rush? They get carded and then end up in the future. That's what I'm still. So I'm guessing when you get, because you got carded in that time frame, why is it all of a sudden I can't wait till they explain how we go.
Well, I think Yuga, from there to there. I think Yuga tried to explain it a little bit. He said like the carding process is unstable, so the flow of time is unstable because of it.
But I need a more definitive answer. Yeah, I understand what he's saying.
He's like speculating.
But it's still just weird. Yeah, he's not 100% sure. He's just basing off what that's why he's able to get out of it, right? But just to see they were in the card world for what? It seemed like, an hour or two, and all of a sudden now you're in. Just to see how that actually whole system works, I'm just really excited to see. But overall, hype for Go Rush, hype for this finale where I don't even know that I want to know the duel result. I just want to know kind of what's happening, like,
that's
like
what I'm saying,
right?
Dude.
Well, I think that the duel result is going to have major implications from a timeline and Rush timeline multiverse perspective. I really do. Yeah. Because I really do think it's almost confirmed that the Ryugu brothers win in the Sevens timeline. And I think if they lose, as of now, what happens then when they lose? Do we have a split in the timeline? That's kind of my theory on it.
It makes
sense.
Does
the Sevens timeline get massively affected by it? And I don't know. They could run a bunch of different ways here because it's time travel. It's ambiguous.
Just fades away.
Pete, you're someone who watches a lot of
we're not doing Infinity War. We're not doing.
You're someone who watches a lot of like Flash, which I know deals with a lot of time travel and stuff. So you probably have a lot of experience just trying to process whatever the hell's going on from a time travel perspective. So, what are your thoughts on the episode and just where the show is at this point?
I don't want to talk too much just because we did the reaction. Generally speaking, it was a great episode. There's nothing really I can add that these guys added. It was just incredibly emotional, I think, is the part that really hit for me.
Yeah.
I stood up when Luke appeared. I mean,
they got us.
Yeah.
What?
It's still going. That's scary.
It was still going.
It went for like 5 seconds.
Why did it keep going?
I don't know.
But it was really
He's
cool.
doing something else.
It was really cool to see him, and
He's the Lego guy.
never in a million years would I think that our Sevens and Go Rush characters can meet. And our Go Rush characters are cats. That would have never been a prediction.
That wasn't on my bingo board.
No. But yeah, there's other things I want to say. We'll get into it in theories.
We'll get into it.
Generally, thought it was a really excellent episode. Definitely top 3 for me for Go Rush.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, I did my review. That review was out. I'm sure most of you
I watched reviews. Good review.
probably seen it. I appreciate that. Thank you. And yeah, I kind of gush over the episode as well. And just the boldness of the team to take this approach. I mean, as someone who's seen every single Yu-Gi-Oh show, we've been conditioned, since GX ended at least, to know that we're never going to see these characters again. When GX ended, we knew we were never going to see anyone from that show again, excluding the movie, Bonds Beyond Times. Same with 5Ds, same with Zexel, same with Arc 5, same with Vrains. And I'm not looking at the Arc 5 variants, because they are different characters. They're similar, but they're different. They're not the characters we were with in GX and 5Ds.
Are you also not including the Duel Links after story?
I wouldn't include Duel Links either. Yeah, from like an animated show perspective, like we're never going to see these characters again. There's always a mourning as a Yu-Gi-Oh fan. The show comes to an end, and that's kind of it. You're never going to hear their voice actors again. You're never going to hear them. You're never going to see them animated again in another anime. That's just how we've been conditioned now for 15 years. And so when Sevens comes to an end, we get these variants in Go Rush. It's like, it'd be really cool if maybe they, we joked around about it since the podcast started. Maybe they'll go to the Sevens world. Maybe they'll go to Sevens.
Talk about that.
And now, it actually became a reality in this episode.
Yes.
And it was a path that I did not think they were ever going to go down.
It's really awesome to see. We shouldn't take that for granted.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why I'm emphasizing it, because as with Yu-Gi-Oh shows, you usually have to say goodbye to characters when the shows comes to an end. And it's cool that we got this episode. Even if we get nothing more in Go Rush, which I think we are going to get more. But even if we get nothing more Sevens related, this was such a heartwarming episode. And kudos to the team. I mean, this was their vision from the very beginning. And, Sirocco, we can get into the theories here. Sirocco is so fascinating to me, because in my review, I went back and I watched that scene that she was in when Goha Yuna and Udius were about to duel. It's clearly her. There's 2 different shots. She is the only character that is completely blackened out.
Yeah.
It's clearly her character
stands out.
Clearly her character design. And even though Yuhi's hair did not go off for the one co-girl that was on the truck,
Yeah, the
Go off
machine
at the
girl.
end.
it goes off right at the end as Sirocco flies over him to kind of indicate that she's an alien. Beep boop, that's her saying, so we know it's her. And she just vanishes into thin air.
Yeah.
Is she traveling through time? Is she going back to report to the creator? I mean, we know she was working with Otis. Now, again, whether Otis and creator are the same or not, who knows? But it seemed like, and you said it when we watched that scene, that she was there for surveillance. She saw what she
Very
needed
much
to
seemed
see,
like left.
and then is left. Yeah, left to report to someone.
Yep.
So that was freaky. Another super freaky thing that happened was the first 5 seconds of this episode after the opening. Yep. I don't know if you even caught it.
I noticed it.
Because it's very easy to miss. The miscellaneous jobs girl from Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush.
Yeah, you mentioned
that was
that.
in
your
all
review,
these episodes is in.
He had like 2 minutes in the review. He talked about it.
Yeah, is in the Yu-Gi-Oh! 7 shot. Let's see if let's see if we can pull it up here.
It's like 220. Right
There,
now.
there she is.
God.
Yeah. There's probably people there that didn't. So if you missed it, go to the 220 mark of the episode, and all the way on the right, you will see the girl who is identical to the girl that was in many Go Rush
That
shots.
is so funny because especially that first arc, first season more generally, but that first arc specifically, she was there every episode.
She was even in the ending. She was in ending 1.
She's everywhere.
And then they just stopped putting her in, right? Then all of a sudden she stopped. Right?
We speculated on it.
He's smiling because he has his theory.
We speculated on it, and then she was gone.
Yeah.
And then they just throw her in there.
It was the girl on the phone.
Well,
stop.
Well, no,
That's
hold
just
on.
ridiculous.
I don't know.
that's not where I was going, but let me say this. That's not the craziest thing I've ever heard. And the reason it's not the craziest thing I've ever heard is because I personally believe that Mr. Goha and Otis were working together, right? They were working together, and we saw that at the very end of the show. And so I think that this girl, whether she's the girl on the phone, I mean, that's kind of a running joke. I think this girl has to be working for the creator. And that was actually a theory proposed by a couple of different people, kind of as a crack theory. I think Aura actually even proposed that theory, that she was the creator. I don't know if she is the creator, but I do believe she's working for the creator and has the ability to move through time. But I think it's one of the craziest things in the world that we actually saw her in this episode. I think that's crazy.
Yeah, pretty cool.
And when you have that and Sirocco, to me, we now have 2 confirmed time travelers in this show that were shown at the... And think about the placement. The very first shot after the opening, the very last shot of the episode. First shot, it's how the episode started, and it's how the episode ended. And I don't even think that's a coincidence. They weren't thrown in the middle. It's how it started and how it ended. So those 2 characters, I believe, are going to play a major, major role going forward. I want to know your guys' theories and thoughts on it. I mean, my brain immediately says creator.
Yeah.
And I think they're probably reporting for the creator.
Yep.
They're, Sirocco's an alien. Maybe the other one is a robot. I don't know. Maybe she's not even an alien. But that, to me, was one of the craziest things.
Well, I think there's always the off chance that she's just the ancestor,
the descendant
of that lady, and just kind of as almost like as like a
an
joke,
homage,
as an homage, they bring her in anyway, which I think could be.
It's not at all a possibility. We have
the realm.
ancestors and descendants this whole time,
but we don't have any to just counter argue that we don't have any ancestors or variants that look identical.
Oh, 100%.
So that's the thing there.
Well, I mean, would you not say Luke and the Great King of Terror are basically identical?
No,
one's blue.
Okay.
No, he's got it. No, that's
That's it. Well, you said identical. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm being serious.
He's not in semantics. He's right.
I agree though.
Yeah.
The same look. I agree.
It's the exact same look except for it's blue.
Yeah. What are you gonna say?
The other part that I would argue with that is all the ones that we've gotten ancestral. They're characters we met already in 7's, and then we have a variant of them. That's why they're called variants.
True.
This character never existed in 7's, so they're a Go Rush creation.
Yep.
So it's either just like this kind of funny background character that's just like, hey, we put her in scenes for fun. Or it's
that would be really annoying if that's just there to torture
That was going
us.
to be the counterpoint I brought up for myself too. I was like, that's the only thing I can see as why it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
No, not the fun thing that we don't know her character in either.
We don't have a connection to her. We don't even know her now. We never even met her.
That's she's the creator. She's the creator.
I don't know.
Why is she important?
I mean, that is a theory some people have.
She's the Hanoi spy.
That she's like the eyes of the creator.
And she can travel through all the timelines.
I mean, it also like why would a schoolgirl be working every single job in Mutsuba?
No, it's weird. It's weird.
It doesn't make sense.
And I believe the first time we really ever saw her, she asked UTS to help her find her cat.
Yeah.
And cats now have this all of a sudden symbolism with getting carded.
Yeah. She's the creator.
I think
there's
she's
pieces
the creator.
there.
I'm not
going like crazy, but I don't know. I think there's something there.
No, I fully agree.
There's something there.
I don't even know if it's that much of a crack theory, to discuss her being so associated now with the creator.
If she had a speaking line every now and again, and just said some she was just there, right?
Yeah.
She was one of the classmates. I go, that's just a fun kind of add-in. She's not a big character. It's just she's part of this universe.
Yeah.
But the fact that she hasn't really spoken, she was in the ending for that first arc or two.
Which is weird.
Just she's the only character that we never spent actual real time with that was there. There's some credence.
Yeah, she's had one line, and that's asking them to get her cat.
Yeah.
It's just interesting. It's interesting.
She's a creator. I already locked it in.
She is the creator?
I'm locking it in.
That was a theory Aura said a few weeks ago.
That her personally is.
Or I think Aura did say it as a crack theory, but there's credence to it now.
I can see her working for him.
Give me the crack.
Oh, that's what I think it is.
That's what I say to that. Give me the crack.
I think it's...
I'm ready for that theory.
Okay, smoke the pipe.
No, I think there's credence.
Locking it in.
What do you guys make of Sirocco purposely being blackened and silhouetted out in episode
I remember me and you. I think
20.
I watched that with you. That episode I think we did together or
and
something like that.
There's other aliens there. There's even another co-girl there.
Yes, there is.
The
but
MC.
there's only one that's dark.
There's only one that's
I think
fully
your theory.
And it was
seems pretty
multiple
accurate.
shots of it too.
Yeah.
Multiple
Oh, that was what it was
different
together.
shots.
Yeah.
So
shots.
you can't even say, it's the lighting, because there's multiple angles.
There's like an up angle and then
it was
one
like
of her right in the
and she,
background.
it's not even like we can't call silhouetted. She's just black. Like,
She's
you
blacked
could not
out.
see what it was.
Yeah, they blackened her out.
I like your idea that she's supposed to be like kind of a spy or kind of getting information, relaying it back to the creator, whoever it is, or relaying it to whatever she's supposed to do.
Whether she's a time traveler or is just ancient. Could
I
be
mean, here's
up
the
for
thing.
debate, but either way,
You can
I
make-
believe she was there.
She's also, we've said it, isn't she a robot?
Well, she's the only one that
there's-
claimed to be an
Robots
alien.
don't have, or robot aliens, they don't have a lifespan.
Yeah,
What
the
if she's
lifespan-
living forever?
There's also the
There's that
off
argument.
chance that she is Vulgarian and can't actually die.
Oh, there you go.
Like she just gets
That's not
recreated and
terrible.
keeps coming back.
dude.
All right, now
No, but like
it's-
just in the same
oh,
way
no,
the
it's,
creator
it's
makes
possible.
things, right?
It's just still like, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
No,
No,
I get what
I
you're
was
saying.
thinking
I
in
get
that
what you're
realm of like not a Vulgarian, but of the same mindset.
Well, like created by the creator, in which
it
she can
lives
keep being
hundreds
made.
of years,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
But
I
yeah,
mean,
at the
if
very
you're,
Wow.
oh, I'm sorry,
no,
but,
no,
like
go.
if you're in your citadel or whatever the hell he is, you're not going out there and want to reveal yourself, or
No.
you're the big bad, right? So
Right.
you don't do the dirty work.
you send people to do
You
it for
send
you.
people to do it, and I feel like that last scene is 100% surveillance.
Yeah,
whether it's for the
100%.
creator or our
Someone
next
else.
arc villain or whatever it is, like
She was there for surveillance.
that's a purpose.
I'm not going to lie to you till I saw you post the poll. If anyone writes bad, they're either
Whoa.
A, trolling, or they need to leave. I'm being honest at this point.
Whoa, dude! I don't
You
know.
find
No,
that
I mean-
episode bad?
Well, I will say
Come on.
this. To play devil's advocate, there are, and you'd be surprised, but there are a lot of people, not a lot of people, there are some people who are big fans of Go Rush that didn't watch Sevens, and I could see them maybe not enjoying the episode all that
That's
much.
fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. And usually that's pretty common. I'd
all
say with
right.
Yu-Gi-Oh,
right, I'll
the
allow it.
people that dislike the previous or the following series the most have always been
They swing the other way.
the show that was right next to it. The fans that hated Arc 5 the most, easily big Zexal fans. The fans that hated Vrains the most, easily big Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5 fans. And the fans that hated Zexal the most, big 5Ds fans. It's always been that way.
very
So
weird.
to see animosity between... It's interesting in this regard because
'Cause
like
they're the
it's,
same-
it's the same writing team, it's the same
they're
universe.
connected.
Like it's one thing if you say I can't stand Yoshida's writing. If you don't like his writing,
He's a friend.
he's a great friend. But if you don't like his writing and that's why you didn't like Zexal or Vrains, like I get it. Okay, you don't like the writer, whatever. It's a preference,
But
whatever.
there is, yeah.
But like with Go Rush and Sevens, I find it fascinating because it is at the end of the day the same exact team.
Yeah.
It's the same main writer. It's the same director. It's the same dual composer. Like
Yeah.
there is something, and the shows are so much more closely tied in than Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal, Arc 5 Vrains, any of those shows.
I suppose the difference is that this is technically a separate show. It's just that they intertwine so much. So you could have jumped in and just be watching Go
Oh,
Rush.
100%.
Which the payoff wouldn't be as
I
big.
know people that did not like Sevens and have really loved Go Rush.
Yeah.
I know people that loved Sevens that didn't get into Go Rush. So, like,
I mean, they do have distinct vibes.
they absolutely
Yeah.
like they're not
Oh,
a
no.
carbon copy.
fully agree. Fully agree.
I do think though that there's probably going to be people that watch this episode, see the reaction of the people that are watching the show that have watched Sevens, and if they haven't, might think, maybe I should kind of go back and see what episode this relates to here and who
Which
the
we even talk
Schrodinger
about,
cat is. Like, let's go back and watch the
Well,
episode.
they don't need
here.
to know about it.
No, but like just to see
No, I
what
know.
they're talking about in
Yeah.
terms of references.
No, but the thing is, like, the shows are getting now really intertwined.
That's
Where it's
what
like
I'm
you need
saying.
to know who Luke
Schrodinger
is. Technically
Schrodinger is
could've-
this random one-off episode character, and he's dropping all the insight and like
Yeah.
in this episode. But now also Sirocco, I think, might play a huge role in this show.
There's multiple
and she's
points
not like a
of
major
crossover,
character.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
like that's the tricky thing. You almost can't cherry pick because one, we don't know what we're gonna get. We don't know what to expect. So like to ask a viewer to then watch 92 episodes of it's a little daunting.
Yeah.
So I do get
No,
it.
I 100% get that.
But I mean, we'll see. I mean, no one on the Nico ratings voted bad or very bad. But there might be people who didn't watch Sevens that the episode doesn't hit for them.
yeah.
Absolutely.
But anyway, we'll keep an eye on that. Got to talk about him.
Say it.
The emotes you can put in the chat. We got Otis emotes in the chat.
Oh?
We got a lot in regards to Otis. First of all, they talk about how legendary that duel was between Yuga and Otis, which I thought was super cool.
Yeah.
But we learned that Otis is the suit that Yuga used in the past.
Otis, yeah.
The Omnitranscendental
yes.
Elimination Ladybug, something like that.
That was pretty close.
I butchered it, but
Pretty close. It was
I gotta give you credit. That was one of your better attempts.
so that could imply that Otis was an AI created by Yuga. We don't know if that's true, but it's weird that Yuga would name his suit Otis after his like
fated
enemy.
Yeah.
That makes me think that he has maybe a first hand in creating that fated enemy.
I thought the same thing.
And something with that program just got out of control. But I mean, what do you guys make of that? That was a pretty crazy indication for them to drop. And again, nothing is confirmed here, but I mean, what did you guys make of that scene?
Omni Ladybug Transcendental Eradication System.
Yes. And keep in mind, it's also implied that he's made a program like that before, because he names that program that to destroy ladybugs, and then he looks at not Muda, Denova or Denois, or I still don't know what her name is. Denois. She looks at her like ladybug earring or whatever it is.
Great.
And he says, "Oh, I'm not afraid of them anymore." But that would imply that he made this system to eliminate ladybugs when he was afraid of them, which would have been in the past, which would have been maybe during the Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's timeline, unless he just made it for the first time. But it's still...
I don't know if I don't necessarily agree that it's implied that he made it before, because like this could be the first time he's realized he's still afraid until that system allows him to not be afraid.
But why name it Otis?
That's the question.
Yeah,
no, I agree.
That's the bigger. That's the bigger point.
That's the bigger point.
Yeah.
Weird.
Very weird.
Very weird.
Because I wouldn't name something a suit I'm in or an invention of mine. I wouldn't give it an abbreviation of a person that I was my fated enemy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that.
You wouldn't.
So that makes me think. Oh, like do the abbreviation like. Never mind.
No, this is why I think I stopped and Cal started laughing. I was like, oh,
like
This is where I stopped.
Happy belated. Yeah, right. So Dredge, I mean,
what?
What do you make of the Otis stuff here?
It can't be a coincidence. It'd be really.
Do you think Yuga made Otis?
What if Yuga is Otis?
Yeah, I know you do.
I think that the creator is a version of Yuga.
I think, and I've thought about this ever since I watched that episode was it Monday night, I think I watched
crazy.
it. My brain's rattling around, like, just overall, like, I even coming to the podcast and I was like, I don't even know where I want to, like, lead with. Like, I don't know.
There's so much shit.
Like, just, like, sitting here and listening is helping me, like, kind of process, but I'm like, honestly, whatever they do, I'm okay with this point. Like, I don't think I have, like, the wherewithal to be like, oh, this is gonna happen, like, and like stick to one thing, because like there's so many possibilities. I love that. I love the mystery in this writing where it's like we have so much stuff. I don't. There's, and that's what's great about this podcast. We can discuss all of it, and you guys bring up things I even forgot. I'm like,
so does Chad.
Chad. Oh shoot, he said, oh yeah, and it's great for that. But I'm still processing. I think I'll be processing until I see this next episode and see kind of what direction we're going.
That to me is always the sign of a good show.
But it's definitely I will say just one thing. It's not for it to be named OTES and same spelling. It's not a coincidence. If it's a coincidence, it'd be really upsetting. Put it that way.
Yeah.
If it is.
So here's my thing: is that this is not the first time that there's been a parallel drawn between Yuga and Otis. This happened several times in Sevens.
Yes.
Several times this episode.
Yes.
Schrodinger even said the collar, the suit.
Oh
yeah, on the suit. I noticed Otis. I noticed
the suit itself.
The
cat has the collar. The suit itself looks like Otis. Schrodinger even says there was a parallel drawn in that conversation between Yuki and Schrodinger where Yuga just wants to protect duels. And he said, we had someone in our era that wanted to do that. His name was Otis.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
Not weird to anybody else?
It's very weird.
See, there you go.
It's very weird.
HJ FaZe brought up a point that I was thinking too, which I'm not sure I would love, but they said if it turns out Yuga created Otis and this is all just a loop, I'm going to be so pissed. And that's like a minor fear of mine too. Yeah. Because it's definitely possible.
It won't be a loop when the Ryuga brothers get defeated.
No, but
that would break it.
Yeah, that like it would be a loop breaking moment.
Yeah.
To end, I guess, the arc, and then
I don't know where
everything hits the fan after that. Like,
I wouldn't say a time loop's impossible.
Yeah, I mean, I think
feeling like that.
I think the possibility of it being a loop until the point, like a loop contingent on the Ryuga brothers and maybe the creator winning until they lose, this would just keep happening.
Yeah. The other important thing when we look at the creator, when we look at Otis, same voice actor, and I think there is something to consider there because all the variants of each other have the same voice actor. So that to me is also something that I think goes under the radar a bit. Pete, what are your thoughts on all this Otis stuff? I know you're a big fan.
Gotta go to the whiteboard.
Oh, yeah.
All right, hold on. Let me get it set up. All right.
Wait, actually, don't switch over. Let Pete.
Let Pete cook.
Let Pete cook.
Pete's
first.
gonna cook
over
bit.
for a bit. I just want to make sure I have everything set up properly.
He doesn't have to look over.
You know if water's down here.
Oh, he's drawing a timeline.
Oh, there's on the couch. You
I
want,
love it.
want water?
I'll take one, please. Thank you. Oh man, he's drawing a line for a timeline. It's gonna be good. Oh my! I'm not gonna spoil it. I'm gonna stop talking.
Here.
Oh man.
Okay. I think I'm gonna actually end up agreeing what he says. All right. So Pete's on the whiteboard right now. We'll let him kind of draw.
Do you want to read?
Let's do some.
donations
Just
or something?
just for like a couple. Let's get a couple.
We'll do some super
Give me the
chats.
links.
Oh yeah. Thank you guys all so much for being here.
Thank you.
Got you, bro.
All right. Crystal Colden, thank you for the $8.88 donation.
Well, that's a super chat.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Well, I'll read it anyway.
Come on, dude.
Wow.
Let me read it anyway. You stopped halfway through it.
Okay.
Adorable episode, and now I want a Yuga cat plush. He's my wallpaper for both my phone and my iPad. Now to go rebuild the current timeline.
Crystal, I don't think you can rebuild the current timeline. I think the current timeline is not a good timeline.
So then how do we? Then what's Yu-Gi-Oh 9?
Well, I have a theory on that.
We'll get there.
But
we'll get there.
you just said it's a new timeline. How?
Just wait.
I have a theory on it. Crystal, thank you so much for the super chat. My voice is doing all right.
Yeah.
Dark Emperor J, thank you for the $2 donation. Random question: would you rather be legally declared married but not have a wedding, or have a wedding but not legally declared married? Definitely the first one.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, legally
Maybe
declared married.
Second one.
Which is so you'd have a wedding but not actually get married.
Weddings are a lot of fun. You ever been to a wedding?
They're a lot of fun, but they're very expensive.
It doesn't say I'm paying for the wedding.
Well, yeah. So I'd rather.
Cal knows what I'm talking about.
So in case Ivria's watching, I'd rather the first one. I don't need.
You're a good man.
Hey, I know Nicole's not watching.
But also, I think the whole benefit of like the marriage, like at least legally,
Yeah.
it's missing in the second one.
Right.
But see, here's the thing: in the second one, the tax breaks are better.
What do you mean?
No, I think married.
If you're both filing single, you mean?
Thank you.
Well, it depends.
Yeah,
Because
break it down.
if you're filing jointly and say your significant other doesn't make enough
She makes significantly more money than me.
so for you it works.
Exactly.
But
I'm stating the fact.
in certain situations, like somebody else could bump you up a tax bracket.
She would bump me up a tax.
But if your significant other doesn't make as much money and your joint money is lower than the tax bracket, then it's even better.
Sure. But I'd be screwed because of it. Trust me. I know.
Well,
yeah.
so you're helping out your future wife in this scenario.
I'm technically speaking.
Yeah. But she wouldn't be helping out you.
No.
So then you don't need to get married.
That's his point.
Why am I having? Why answer number 2?
Yeah. So now it makes sense.
What do you mean?
Okay.
This is ridiculous.
Dark Emperor J. Crystal Golden. Thank you for the $2 donation. Since I am playing for my high school's graduating class, does the crew have any memorable moments from high school? Mine is my junior year when my high school got to march in Disneyland. Ironic, our show theme was Harry Potter. That's really cool. I don't have any memories from high school. I really don't.
Shut up.
I really don't.
Shut up.
Except selling sodas out of my
I knew he was going to say that. In my head,
That's
like,
the
he was
only
going to
one.
say something.
We haven't been friends for 15 years or
But
anything.
my friendship with you goes so beyond high
What
school.
about Dredger?
memories.
Oh, yeah, you met
When
me
did
in
you
high
meet him?
school.
In high school.
Oh, you don't remember me.
Of course I remember.
No,
You're
doesn't
Dredger.
remember you, Dredge. Doesn't
Okay.
remember you.
Hey.
I remember you, bro.
What about all
least
those?
somebody
What
does.
about all those tennis doubles matches we won?
I hate
Yeah,
it.
Obermeyer giving him massages.
Okay, that's weird and not true.
I would always tweet in the bus on the way to the tennis matches. I would tweet, "I hate everyone on this bus." This is my high school.
And then I would tweet back.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
He was on the bus.
Yeah.
He knew he was an exception.
Also, did you move us over on your screen?
Yeah, I don't like it. What are you doing?
No, it's fine.
It's always been there.
Oh, it was that other
That
thing
was
was showing. That's all.
Yeah.
There's a lot of memories, even if Dylan doesn't want to admit it.
No, we had a lot of.
We had a lot of
fun.
great memories.
All right, Peter, you ready?
And a lot of
Okay,
bad
it
ones.
looks good.
so,
Pete, do you want to move the ring light forward? All right, we're gonna throw
Turn.
Pete on
Oh,
the
wait,
We
board.
already
Yeah.
talked about on
Is
this.
that better?
Yeah, that's better. Okay, the whiteboard is up.
Okay, you're up, Pete.
All right, here's the whiteboard. Here's the original time.
Oh my god.
Okay, so this is where we assume that Phaser wins, and we're seeing everything take place now. Before we have the Yugioh Phaser duel, and we assume we save aliens and all that stuff. Okay, so in our original timeline, and you could agree or disagree with me.
The circles are the starting points for each show?
This is the starting point of our timeline.
Okay.
These are our 2 shows of the circles. The X's are key points in time of things that take
place.
Okay, so here's 7's, right?
Yeah.
7's, at the end of it, we have Otis versus Yuga.
Right.
That creates a point where it ends, and Yuga goes all the way back in time. In that time, Yuga gets to go rush. He creates Otis. There's a 2-year time gap in here. We assume Phaser wins in the original timeline. At some point shortly after, Yuga returns back to 7's. 2 years later, when he comes back. In this time period here, we know that this returns or whatever. We had someone like Otis that was here that tried to create duels, right? But we need this loop to be created and completed. That doesn't discount this time period. Where we had a man at some point here, when Yuga was really young, named Otis, that inspired him in the first place to have the idea to create rush duels. He only exists because Yuga created him back here. He had that idea to give this future kid that already created him, his original creator, the idea again. He can't exist unless Yuga gets the idea. He can only get the idea if Otis then gives him the idea.
It's a paradox.
So he was always he was always meant to go back to the past.
And that's why he says he never wanted to go back to 7's because he wanted to make sure. He wanted to make sure that kids would always have rush duels. So that means Otis would have to be created in order for that to happen. So him going back would make him potentially run into his future self.
And now here's my theory, right? Now, I've always been on the Yuga, maybe in the future he was Otis, all that stuff. Right? So let's just take that out for a second, right? The other thing that could work here is that Yuga, he's a real smart kid. This man's always playing 4D chess, right?
Absolutely.
He could be figuring out what's going on here. And so now, in the original timeline, unaware of this, he didn't go back here yet, he didn't fight Otis. He looked at this and goes, he got an idea from a man named Otis. He wanted to give duels back to kids. He made it. This is what happened. He ends up getting kicked out, basically, the timeline and goes all the way, let's say 200 years into the past. When he comes back in this moment from the Go Rush timeline, the reason why he asks nothing changed is I think he's onto the fact that he's stuck in some kind of loop here. Because in his mind, in the original timeline, he made rush duels right here. Now he introduced rush duels all the way back here. It still didn't change anything. He just realized, in my mind, he's trapped in a loop. And he just figured that out. So I think that's why he asked that question to Schrodinger, because he figured out, oh crap, I'm actually stuck in. This is way bigger than I originally thought it was.
So your theory on this is that it's a time paradox.
I think it's some kind of time
paradox.
paradox.
Can I say something really outrageous?
No.
Truly outrageous.
And
I like that. This is gonna be something. No, it's not something.
So you're gonna make Dylan look normal?
Yeah.
Whoa! I'm ready. Everyone, pay attention.
This is something that the haters are gonna love.
Okay. Oh, this could be good.
The bridge haters are gonna love this. The Rush Duels haters are gonna love this.
Oh yeah.
Because the only way for this to resolve, means the death of Rush Duels. Master Duels are back.
Wait, how do you get that?
The only way for the paradox to end
would
is
be to eliminate the original creation at the moment. I mean, they'll probably
at the moment they're gonna get around.
But
so could the creator in this theory?
He's really upset.
Could Otis also maybe have the ability to realize he's in a time loop, and the creator
is in my mind, assuming he's not the future Yuga, which is a possibility. Right. In my mind, he is an AI creation that just got too smart. And
that
he also realizes he's
that's happened before.
So the creator
is why
Otis.
They're fated enemies, because technically for them both to
technically Yuga is the creator,
and for Otis to even exist, they need each other.
So Yuga is the creator because he created Otis, and Otis is the creator.
Around and around and around.
That was my wild thought there. Is that
it doesn't.
I don't want it to happen.
If you destroy the creator, you destroy the creator. You destroy Rush.
I think Yuga's next thought now that I believe that he realizes this is in the original timeline. Phaser wins. If we can change this moment and maybe save UTS and aliens, maybe that, not creating rush duels earlier, but changing this outcome.
He's found his new road.
Snaps.
Yuga's new road.
Well, and that's why he. good. I like that.
That's my.
I like that. That's very good.
That was good.
That's my correct.
That was very good, and that's why Otis,
be completely wrong.
That's why Yuga enlisted Yugioh, and that makes sense because maybe Yugioh was the key to defeating Phaser all along.
Yeah.
Yuga wasn't able to do it.
No.
Well,
He tried.
And he got carded.
None of the Otos were able to do it. They all tried. Well,
not-
Yugi lost to the
not
brother.
in their blood.
Yeah, that's a good one. I think that outlines because I've seen a few
Yeah,
people.
exactly.
Seen a few people comment that it was that we might be in a time paradox. I think that's
it might not be, but that's just my crack theory.
Yeah, no. That's a great outline of what the stuff would look like if it was a paradox. So
Yeah.
I agree with
At
that.
least in the original creation,
Yeah.
that's what happened.
As
Yeah.
far as my understanding of the current timeline, I can 100% agree with what's going on here.
Yeah.
Everything else is speculation and theory, but as far as my understanding of
Still,
the
is your
timeline,
phone
that's
ring? Is
what I see.
Konami calling?
Konami is not called.
Oh,
no.
I thought we figured out there.
I thought we figured it out, yeah. They're coming for you.
I saw a light and I was like, oh god.
No, it's not Konami. I have something
Pretty
timeline
sure.
related that I would like to do as well.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Get in there.
Get in there.
All right, and this is going to kind of play off of because actually, what I'm going to do with my timeline up on the whiteboard could still very well work. I think it's just going to maybe add on to what Pete said if they go this
Are
route.
you
So
erasing that?
I'm going to erase that.
Take a
yeah.
picture of it.
I'm gonna take a picture of it.
Take a
All right.
picture of it.
So I'm gonna go to the board.
Take a picture of the last
I don't know how you have
Oh
this.
my-
I don't know how you. Is it live
That's what I
stream
said
with
at the
other
beginning.
webcam? Bill?
Oh!
Don't worry, I'll do it.
Okay. Well,
He's not taking a picture.
Take a picture of himself.
while you're doing this, do you want me to read donations?
If you want to read some super chats, sure. I'll get it ready.
So not
Oh,
links.
no.
Yeah. Well, because look, that was what.
Okay.
Yeah, the football.
You heard it.
Well,
here
yeah,
first.
I've re-asked. What about the football field, Dill?
The football field.
If you build it, they will come.
Okay, that's
baseball.
yeah.
Field of dreams.
Oh my god.
What about what football field?
I
I don't
know.
know.
That was Dylan's first moment in high school in the football field.
Dylan found his moment.
Dylan did find his
He
moment.
was looking for his moment. Yeah.
Wait, what time is it?
It's 9:03.
It's 3 past Igor.
Yeah, there you go. So we got a $5
Yeah.
super chat from Ice Aiden. Ice Aiden.
Sorry.
I was waiting for somebody.
I do the bump bump.
I like
Bum,
that.
Bum, bum.
All the Yugi bros are here today. Fun episode. Cat Yuga meeting Luke was so heartwarming.
I know.
It really was. That and I think
I
I
was
said
gonna
that
cry,
in the
bro.
beginning. I was like, that was such a touching moment.
It was good.
Because you could tell that Luke felt the connection, even though he knew that like you can't assume that a random cat is going to be your long lost best friend.
No.
But you could tell that he could tell there was something different about that cat as opposed to another cat or something like that.
What really
The
got me
eyes.
about it was that Luke was missing his friend for 2 years so terribly and wanted to cling on to anything that he could that reminded of him.
Yep.
And what was equally painful about that was that Yuga was there and couldn't say anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like they have both of these are just like two characters are just suffering in each other's presence, but trying to make each other feel better in a way, and it just damn.
I also like that moment kept some continuity, which it's not that I didn't expect it to, but like Tiger specifically says, which it was nice to see her back as well.
Yeah.
But like she specifically says you skipped school again, so we know this man's still going through it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Which is where we left him in that 2-year time skip.
Yep.
And there was something about this cat that it was not only adorable, but he had some. Okay, thank you. He had some weird, just feeling vibe with it,
Yep.
and it happens to be the day before what we think is possibly Yuga actually comes back.
Wow.
And I like that he opened up about it too, that he was like, listen, I'm not somebody that really gets along with a lot of people.
Yeah.
And he was that person, meaning Yuga, that he's talking about. And I thought that was a really heartwarming
And when he eats
thing.
the udon, he's like, he used to love udon.
And you have to
like,
picture, this is someone who's been, I know it wasn't that long ago, but you have to remember the end of Sevens, right? From a Luke perspective, right? He's dueling Yuga, right? Who he's beaten 3 times before, to purposely not get him to go on a suicide mission.
Yeah.
That is the whole point. And in the most important duel, as Dylan always says, of his life, he loses that and gets ejected from space, and he has to watch that, knowing what's going to happen, and then it does happen.
Yep.
So he's been sitting on that moment for 2 years now. It just must be an incredibly weighing thing on your soul.
Oh, 100%.
And I like that he was able, not realizing it's Yuga, but he was able to open up to Cat Yuga there. And I love that moment.
it gives us that perspective in even more detail than we had. Like, we obviously had our assumptions, like, damn, he's crushed by this or whatever. But seeing that just little bit and him, like you said, opening up. When did Luke open up? You know what I mean? It's a very cool point to see and definitely heartwarming, I think is a good way to put it.
Yeah, it's also for me, too. Yuga, I think, was very intelligent not to say anything in that scene.
100%.
Because he left Luke once before at the end of, obviously,
you said this in your review.
I did say this in the review.
Yeah.
And I think he knows if he's going to be here for a very short period of time. And if he opens up and says, hey, Luke, it's me, but I'm not actually, it's Yuga. I made it back here, but I've got to leave again. I think that would just crush him all over again.
Yeah. I mean, he says
he was smart not
for
to say
himself
anything.
as well.
Yeah,
if he spends any more time here, then he might not go back.
It reminded me of the most. What was the most recent Spider-Man movie called? With
No Way Home?
Into the Beyond the Spider-Verse.
No, not Miles Morales. Is in
the one
Marvel.
with the 3 Spider-Man at the end.
Yeah.
No Way Home.
Can I? Everyone's watching No Way Home, and it's
fine.
It's
a year and a half. Beyond the limit.
But it doesn't even do that. Just the ending movie that when Tom Holland walks in, and we all know what happened, right? And he goes, and he bites the tongue. He doesn't say anything. He could have, but everything there, not get them involved. Like everything's okay.
Happy.
They're on their own.
Yeah.
Like I first thought was that in this sense, it's like
that's a good point.
I can't say this
Can't be selfish.
Can't be selfish. It would. I'd love to do it, but it would hurt him more.
Yeah.
So not that they're connected, but I just thought of right away.
No, and he actually, it's a great point. And he had in that he started talking about a whole rehearsed speech that he wrote down.
Yes,
and he stops very early on because he realizes, one of the themes of that movie is him having the guilt, and this has always been a Spider-Man thing, but having the guilt of always interfering and ruining other people's lives unintentionally. Mm-hmm. And I think this is the first moment he realizes 2 people that he loves that he goes, I freed them.
Yeah,
right.
Good.
Like they're free from me, and even though that hurts, they're at MIT. They're living this great life. Like, who am I to get involved and do this to them again? And it's a really sad moment.
That's
a great point.
Yeah,
good point.
It is.
And I also feel like it was presented in a way that wasn't too spoilery anyway.
Yeah, I tried to make sure I didn't like it.
That was good.
All right. I'm going to show my.
Go over there. Head over there. Let's see what we got.
You got to support that.
Come on, support it.
All right.
What the hell is that?
Okay, so let me
except for a line.
It's very, very, very similar to what Pete just said. Actually, I'm going to say this. I loved what Pete did, and I actually agree with it, and I think that could absolutely work. This, to me, is just what comes next, and I don't think it interferes with his theory at all.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So we have Go Rush's starting point. We have 7's starting point. Obviously, Go Rush in the past. Yuga versus Otis, the 2 years, end of 92, or 62, whatever you want to call it. So this right here for me is a timeline crux point, or whatever you want to call it. This is the point that will change the course of Rush timeline for history, and I think that's why right before this result happens, right before we see whether Operation MIK succeeds or fails,
that's why we went back.
This scene in Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's world, because I think this is the moment that the paradox snaps. And so what I think is going to happen, let me do this right here. I'll do it real quick.
No, let's write it. Ooh.
Do it!
Right here.
It's a time-splitting moment.
You do
It's where
it!
the timeline veers.
Chicken scratch, but Phaser loses. And once Phaser loses, this timeline veers. The timeline is completely changed. I don't think it really is going to affect this area up here. I think it'll snap the paradox from happening because now there's a new timeline. Mm-hmm. But I don't think it's going to change much from here, and I think that's why introducing Rush Duels hasn't changed too much from here yet. Paradox theory also works there. Phaser loses. This new timeline gets formed. Mm-hmm. I think with the relic and the carding process, you can very easily explain that Yuga is still able to get here if that is the character at the end of 92. Yeah. I don't think that's really too hard to explain. And this right here in the future...
Yu-Gi-Oh! 9.
He's gonna...
Yu-Gi-Oh! 9, I just said it. Yep.
Yu-Gi-Oh! 9.
I mean, I don't see why it couldn't be.
The only thing you have to fill is that gap before Yu-Gi-Oh! 9.
Well, but there's a big gap here, so you could say Yu-Gi-Oh! 9 is 200 years after.
You can make an implication there, yeah.
And it wouldn't interfere with 7's because the events of Go Rush changed the time paradox and the loops.
And the only thing I would add is, like, just to make clear, because I assume this is what you're talking about, is that Yu-Gi-Oh! 9 timeline I think will still be in the future of 7's. But it's been alternated from Go Rush and 7's. Like, it's on that path, but I don't think, like, Yuga's still going to be around again.
Right,
I think we're maybe... I don't know, 50
It's-
years after Sevens, but all
Yeah.
of those are connected in this alternate timeline.
Yeah, I can see that.
And like
parallel,
Yu-Gi-Oh!
but
9,
further, yeah.
the characters of Yu-Gi-Oh! 9 would have never existed if they didn't fix this.
Yeah, 100%. That's my prediction. It's
Ooh.
kind of a crazy one because obviously we have no idea what
I don't-
Yu-Gi-Oh! 9 is going to be about.
Right.
But I think because of how much emphasis is on this phaser moment
like
and
that. I can work
Operation
with that.
MIK, I think this is the moment that our characters, our heroes, get the timeline back.
And then that means that Nick T's right, and Rush Duels get destroyed, and Master Duel comes back.
Get
and
wiped
yeah.
off the map.
Well, I mean, not necessarily.
He wants it.
No, I don't want it.
That's
no,
what Nick T said he
no,
wanted.
that's not what I
Yeah.
said. That's not what I said.
Either way, whether you want to
There's a
put
galaxy
Yu-Gi-Oh! 9 there or
difference.
not, you obviously don't need to. I think the timeline is going to be changed and altered completely and deviated
Yeah,
because
sure.
Operation MIK failed, and it's never failed before.
Now, here-
Before Rush Duels, I think...
It was hit.
Yeah,
But can I just say it?
Yeah.
Because we kind of been beating around the bush.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he killed all the aliens.
Yeah, I agree.
Like,
Yeah,
I
I
think
do too.
he
Yeah, I agree.
carded all of them.
Yeah, I agree. I think
And
they were
the other ones that escaped just left off world and never returned.
And MIK is not in sevens because there's no need to monitor creatures anymore.
Yeah.
Earth hasn't dealt
and
with
then
aliens
we
now.
mentioned this on the reaction. I think many of those people ended up becoming part of Goha Corporation.
Yeah.
And that's how they got so big.
Yeah.
Right. And that's how we get people that may have been descendants of aliens but aren't necessarily aliens. We get Nail, we get Luke.
Right.
Those are the two big ones.
They've got
that stand out to
alien
me.
blood in them.
But they
they're
aren't
not
aliens.
aliens.
So that's why you
Yeah.
have the Luke man.
Now, what's
Right.
maybe yeah,
He's a manga Yeah, he's interesting.
it's interesting. What's interesting to me now, to jump off that, is if this is how things go, what does that mean for the rest of Go Rush?
Right.
Phaser
we
loses,
gotta take out the creator.
and then what?
Well, the
The creator's
creator...
gonna try to create a new loop.
The creator might,
He's gonna
yeah.
try to create a new
I
loop,
think
and you
if
have to
there
stop
is a loop or paradox
trying to
going
get us
on,
back
I
into
think the
it.
creator...
He wants the loop, so you gotta
Yeah.
try to.
That could also be why Otis was trying to destroy Rush Duels at the end of the show. Because if he destroyed it and defeated Yuga, there wouldn't have been a loop, and it just would have ended right there.
Oh,
but
there's
then
also
kids
nothing
wouldn't
to
have
stop
had
That makes him so
Right.
confusing
Well,
too.
that too, yeah.
But that would make Otis even more confusing.
Right, because he installed Rush Duels. Right?
Yes, but also for him to want to destroy it makes him almost not quite a bad guy.
Right.
Because like I'm just trying to end this
Yeah.
circular existence of suffering.
And
That's something that Yu-Gi-Oh would do.
You look at it on
too.
the positive side. I look at it on the other side.
Right.
He was trying to end it because he wants to live, and he knows if it keeps going,
then
he ends up
loses-
doing that.
Also, a fair point.
I think
too.
it's a very
This
selfish.
is
Well, yeah,
crazy.
it's selfish, but I think it could be ambiguous
It
in
can
that
be.
way.
It can be either or. It
Yeah.
could be both.
It could be both.
I just right now anything I've seen of him, he's
Isn't good.
very selfish.
No, he is
Yeah.
selfish.
The one thing that can throw any of this on its head, and you mentioned it when you were doing your theory presentation, is if Yuga and Otis somehow are the same character.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That would throw it all on its head.
Yeah.
Because then it still could be a paradox of sorts, but then what the hell? I don't know. This is...
He could be a Yuga from an alternate timeline.
Right.
He could be
Oh
Right.
god! I mean, they could write anything.
They could write anything.
That's the beauty of like any fiction.
Yeah.
It could be anything.
Yeah. Yeah. It's scary, but it's also fun for productions
It
like
reminds
this.
me of that flashback where it's like, you knew every moment of my life because you lived it. You remember when you were me. It was like, you could literally do that in this.
I mean, chat, we are going to go to
God.
some crazy places, I really believe. I'm going to end the poll. So 76% thought this was a great episode,
Wow,
19% good, 3% decent, no votes for bad. So
There you
Dredge,
go.
you got your
Oh, that's
There you
great.
go.
Really?
Yeah, no
It
votes
wasn't
for
a
bad.
threat. It
a
really.
moment where it was.
So maybe
One.
change their vote.
There was a point where it was one.
It
And
was
I
only
said that
1%.
before the polling up, so I didn't.
You can
it.
change your vote.
Um, Here's the thing, like,
didn't
again,
know
and I didn't mean that, but just like the truth is, if you really did, no
Maybe you're
matter
watching the
what
wrong
way,
show.
like even if you don't know the connection, just like I don't know, it's just the plot. But yeah, that's fair. I think that's a good representation of the
I like
episode.
it.
Though, for sure.
97% thought it was good or great. Yeah,
definitely.
That's probably
I
the
agree.
highest we've ever seen.
94
in
so.
polls. Well, 3% decent, 97%.
It's the guy
The
with
math doesn't add to 100.
point.
The
Yeah,
math
it's a
never
90.
adds
the
up
math
to
ain't
one.
math.
Doesn't even
Math
answer
ain't
99.
math.
98.
Hey,
We have 2% missing.
math ain't
That's
math.
significant margin.
That could decide an election.
He's
That's
He's not
crazy.
wrong.
No,
He's
it's
not
crazy. You can't have 2%. Anyway, Pink Penguin. That we. By the way, we still have the
By the way.
summary. We still have these summaries for episode 63 and 64, which I don't think any of these four to my left
I have
have
no
read
idea
yet.
what's going on.
I have.
So that will be super exciting. That's going to come up probably in about 10-15 minutes.
Okay.
Pink Penguin, thank you for the $2 donation. Hi, Dylan and crew. Hope you all are well. I loved this episode. It was so wholesome. Seeing the Luke and Yuga moment at the end made my heart swell. Their friendship is the best Yu-Gi-Oh friendship since Yugi and Joey. I would probably agree with that.
Friendship since...
I would say so.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I mean,
if
we're not limited.
If we're not counting like Yuma and Astro, which I wouldn't count them.
I wouldn't count anyone in 5Ds or.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Wouldn't say Brad, you saying Crow.
Yeah, he would say that's true.
Yeah,
even GX, like there was like so far there's some, but like nothing like wow.
Jaden
like,
and Cyrus, Judah and Show.
Now that's Nick T's favorite.
Nick T's favorite show.
Get out of here.
I won't lie. I just watched.
You would clap that boy up.
So this isn't he, but I just watched the episode where Show was a car.
What?
Yeah.
I don't know if I got that far.
Oh yeah, no, you didn't get that far. Yeah, GX gets weird.
Weird is
It started weird though, so don't say gets weird. It started there.
Yeah,
He knew what was happening.
It stays weird.
I
He knew
did.
what was gonna happen.
I did.
But once you get to season 3, man, I'll tell you something.
Get to about episode 175. You're right there.
Sorry, future Canadian.
Yeah, future Canadian.
Crystal Colden, thank you.
Hey, I didn't say that it was
It's-
terrible.
I never say it either. It's always them,
Yeah.
and they apologize.
Yeah.
right
Yeah,
away.
then Nadine.
We have to.
Then
We have
Nadine
to.
messed me in Discord and yells at me. I'm like, it wasn't me.
Yeah, Nick.
Before you move on, I wanted to say something really quick.
Yeah.
Pink, someone asked about you in stream. We had a long lost viewer return. Blue
right.
Penguin.
Blue Penguin.
Who
was
said,
on
"Hey, I remember
my stream.
He
yeah.
said, I remember Pink Penguin being someone in your chat. Are they still around? And we're like, yeah, like she's not here tonight.
I was like, it's actually rare for her to not pop in at all. But I remember I was like, I know she's busy with plays and stuff and school stuff. But
yeah, we're like, yeah.
I don't know if you
she's still
remember
around.
that name, Blue Penguin on Twitch.
So
That
weird.
sounds familiar.
I haven't seen them in like 2 years. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was.
Wow.
Yeah,
Very funny. Crystal Colden, thank you for the $2 donation. Been real busy with a new Go Rush AU, where I get to use the mentioned Yugi having a connection to the creator crack theory. Already on chapter 6, and it has many relics combined with Earth Damar that confuse Yugi with any dual monster.
Remember when the Earth Damar was important?
The Earth Damar, well,
come on, dude.
I think they still might be. I don't know, but I don't know. But yeah, that's cool. I mean, that's the fun thing now with fanfics with these shows. Like, you can go in so many different directions because the shows themselves are kind of crazy. They're not grounded at all. And that's fun because then when you write your fanfics, it's like, this could maybe actually happen. Like, it's not the craziest thing. So that's super cool, Crystal. Limestone, thank you for the $2 donation. When did Dylan start to scare people with cardboard cutouts?
About 7 years ago, 8 years ago.
High school.
Probably
High
about
school.
2010,
Really? Which one in
2011.
high
Selena
Oh,
Gomez.
Selena.
And wasn't Yugi
I got-
Moto high
Yugi
school
was
as
there.
well?
High school.
No.
No,
That
it was
was
after.
that was a little like right after I
2016,
graduated.
17.
Yeah, it was probably
Was it
about
16, 17?
12 years ago. I don't really do it as much anymore.
I remember sleeping over in
yeah,
high school. I
You,
remember-
what do you mean I don't do it anymore?
He'd be like,
You bought 2 within a year and a half.
Well,
I mean,
no, but like
that's right behind us all
Dylan,
the time.
there is
We
one.
just
well,
act
that's
like
an
it's-
animatronic.
We just act like
I
that's
That's
know,
even
normal.
worse.
We do act like that's normal. That's a
It's
7
wearing
foot.
a UTS shirt. We just act like this is a normal part of the show. Okay?
Not only-
There's a 7-foot Jack Skellington wearing a Yugioh shirt for Go Rush. Nobody ever questions it, not even the chat, every week.
He's also wearing a Slifer red jacket.
Yeah,
I
like
think-
nobody.
Actually,
These new people come in here. Nobody questions that.
No.
I think you're right. I actually let me remove very quickly the events list here so you guys can see it. Yeah, Jack Skellington just chills.
So
in
I'm going to
his corner.
stand next to it for
And
reference.
and
just
Dredger,
He's not
Dredger's a
7
pretty
foot.
tall dude. You're
I'm not
6
that
foot,
tall.
right?
No, he's like
But
5'10".
it's not the point.
Look at how
He's got a foot 2 feet on me.
No.
Hello.
He's like 6'6".
No, he's like 7 feet tall.
So he's
he
big.
And Dredger's like 5'10".
He's 7 feet.
Yeah, I'm
he's
like
7
5.
feet.
I'm like 5. I'm like 5 and I'm 5'10".
It's a 7 foot Jack Skellington.
It moves too.
He's
Chat
like
doesn't
a
see
flat.
It does
Okay.
say.
Is
But-
it on?
No, it's not.
But to be fair to saying that you don't do the cardboard cutouts anymore, when for Halloween you got the one of your face and
So
you
right
made
there.
the Salaryman Calzo.
Both of which you have scared us
The
with.
Salaryman Calzo is pretty scary. Yeah.
Both of them are.
Yeah,
Dude,
well,
man,
That's
wanna-
much scary.
I agree.
That's the
horrifying.
scariest thing I've
That
seen
is-
in my life.
That is horrible.
That's
Want
the
to pull that
Here,
one on
bring
the
it over.
stream?
Bring it
You
over.
can bring it over.
That's the scariest thing I've seen
So
in
this
my
is a
life.
scary pop-up of me looking through a window. This did not actually happen. I've never looked through
All right,
someone's
ready?
window.
I think it's upside down.
All right. It's
I don't believe that, by the way. I don't buy that for a second.
I mean, it's pretty horrifying.
I mean, look at that on screen.
I think the hands are what makes it really
Who made this edit again?
This was edited, I think, by either It's Brad as HD or Stardust Nobody.
Yeah.
I think one of the two.
it's one of them,
I haven't
yeah.
seen Sam in a lifetime.
Yeah,
Oh
Sam
I
was
still
by one
follow
of
him
my
on
Twitch streams
Twitter.
a couple days ago. Yeah,
Yeah,
but it was one of them. And
scariest edit of
I decided to turn it into a huge cardboard cutout.
I remember when we made that decision for Halloween.
Yes.
And you're like, oh my god. I was like, dude, what about this
It
picture?
is terrifying. No, it's terrifying. It's actually like there were times where I would be like alone in my basement.
And you open it up and you're like, ah.
No, because I hung it on the wall
It
for
would
a
scare
while.
your mom.
Yeah, it's petrified my mom and my poor mother. And I'll tell you, it would scare me sometimes. I would be on like the phone and I'd turn the corner and it would be there.
Yeah.
Do you remember the video also associated during that time?
What's that?
It's someone took the clip of you going hello that you
Yeah.
always do, but they added people screaming in a house and they turned
That
the light on
was-
as if you broke into their home.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Nothing.
That was Yu-Gi-Oh!
It's still
Yeah.
there. That's on the
That
Yu-Gi-Oh!
channel
Nothing
probably
classic.
is still there. Yeah.
It's a classic.
Hello.
Yo,
Yeah.
the stream is
Videos.
like
Hiccuping.
video is like hiccuping.
It is a little
It might be because you have the other video behind it.
That's happened last time for
yeah,
us.
that could
You
be
have a
it.
video.
Oh, maybe. All right, I'll turn those two off. It shouldn't. I think what's probably happening is my PC is just on its last legs. I bought this PC like 5
Oh,
This
that's
is the
7
old
years
one.
ago.
That's the old
yeah,
one.
that's the old one.
I bought that with you at Best Buy.
I remember that.
Yeah. So like, I was,
That's one of Nick D's core memories.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my
I don't have much going on.
Yeah.
Holy.
So sorry about the video.
Does.
Sorry about the video issues.
Yeah, I do see their point though.
It's stuttering a bit.
Yeah. All right.
It's fine.
It's fine. It's okay.
It's fine.
It's okay.
It's all right.
Ain't no problem.
It's gonna work out.
You know, the crazy thing is, Liza didn't love it at first, but then she also just learned to ignore
You
it.
learned to
Yeah.
The
yeah.
Jack Skellington?
No, that kind
Oh yeah.
You know, it's kind of
This
like
was
us
in
with
your
you.
face,
You
you're
know, we get used to
Yeah,
your
well.
crazy traits.
Well,
and
I
your-
think
you're right.
I think the Jack Skellington thing is
One of our
actually
first birds.
one of the funniest things I've ever heard because like it is absolutely ridiculous. We
Yeah.
have a 7-foot Jack Skellington wearing a Slifer red jacket and a UTS
Normal.
t-shirt.
Normal.
And when was the last time anybody in
No one.
chat and
No one.
new people
Never.
come by? Nobody ever said, "Hey,
No,
who's
inflatable Jack.
the character?"
No one said a word.
Nobody has said a word.
Yeah.
And it's been there for like
And
8 months.
That's our fault. Because
That's our
we've
fault.
conditioned these people to just be used to any
Yeah, like,
crap on this podcast. That's our fault. That's 100% our fault.
I mean,
There's a lot of things we don't question here.
yeah.
That's what I'm just saying. Like we've been knowing you for this long. Like we don't question half the stuff you do. We should.
Yeah.
The problem is we don't question really anything you do at this point. Like we'll be like, come on,
It's just
Bill,
not
but like that's about
surprising.
it. But the problem for me is like
we
I
took a
feel like
step
it's
back,
almost like diluted me to like when other people do crazy stuff. I'm like, yeah, I've seen worse.
And they're looking at you like, well, that's
Yeah,
crazy, and you're like, no.
I was like, no, it's not that crazy.
You don't even know.
I've seen so much worse.
Yeah, I am seeing the video lag here.
Is it like unwatchable where like you can't hear us at this point?
It seems like the audio is
Jared
fine.
said the
audio
audio
will be
is
fine.
fine.
Yeah, audio's fine.
Alright, so you can still hear.
Is it
So it's
because-
like last week where you
Is it because you have the
was
second
Exactly.
camera, Dill?
I'm gonna
Second
delete
camera?
those cameras, see if that helps. Shouldn't be.
I was worried you were going to delete the wrong camera.
No, I'm gonna
That would be
restart
pretty
this camera.
Okay.
See if that helps at all. But I have a feeling it won't because it's not the camera; it's the connection to the internet. So it's either YouTube or Streamlabs.
Right, because it's not monitoring.
Well, I mean,
yours.
last
It's
week it
fine
was
on your
YouTube.
end. It's
last week it was YouTube, but I'm just starting to think that this PC is on its last legs.
Yeah.
Might be time to switch it out.
I mean,
Yeah, well, all I have to do is just roll that one over.
yeah.
It's really
Or-
not that hard.
I mean, not even real. Just get.
a longer cord.
eh,
All you would need
No, because then
is
it's. Yeah,
all
it's
you would
on
need
wheels,
is
I
the
guess.
is the keyboard for that computer and a monitor. Everything
Yeah.
else could be plugged in just there instead of here.
Yeah,
All right,
exactly.
we'll work on getting that fixed. But sorry, the video is bad. We apologize.
At least when it goes up like live, like it's fine. Like the people listening to it, it won't be affected
Yeah.
at all.
As
Yeah,
long as
audio
you-
is fine.
yeah, when you listen to this later on Pandora or Spotify or like
All the streaming
Apple
platforms.
Music.
Apple
Yeah.
Music, yeah, you'll be good.
Title,
Yeah.
I think.
It just started
Is that
the
on podcast?
cutting in
No
and out.
idea.
Well, it's
Yeah.
been a couple minutes now.
a couple. It's about 2-3 minutes. Yeah. That's killer.
You know, it happens.
It's killing the product.
The problem is it's not the webcam because everything on the preview
Right,
is fine.
yeah, like
No, it's not
Streamlabs
the
is
cam,
completely the
and
same.
Is it say you're like
Look at your CPU usage up to 25%, over 20%.
what is the
It's
third
usually a little
one?
high.
Is the third one no that's 2.
It was only 1.1%. You're losing more frames.
Yeah, like
I
you're
don't know
dropping
why.
frames, so that's
Not a lot though.
No, not bad.
No, but like it's it's
But it wasn't a lot. It's
It's got to be this computer because I've streamed to YouTube a lot the last 2 weeks on that in that setup, and it's fine.
Nah,
You got the beast
I've
over
got
there.
I've got a super PC. I just got to roll this, and I got to.
That thing is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Didn't your friend put it together?
Yeah, I helped pick out all the parts, and then
Dylan
my buddy put it together.
doesn't use it.
Yeah,
for
that's
other
right.
streams.
Oh yeah, we dropped that off and went to Costco.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
That's one of my corn.
Yeah, me too.
Oh,
Those
it's every
Costco
time.
hot dogs, man.
Oh,
They are
Costco
really
hot
good.
dogs.
So we are going to read the summaries
Group
in
trip
about
to
5
Costco?
minutes. We'll do a few
Oh,
more
sick.
super
Hey,
chats,
I
and
have
then
open
we'll,
24 hours.
and we will have
I
to
have
make,
open 24 hours.
we will have to
Like
make our
anymore?
predictions
No, it is now.
on
Back 24 hours.
UDS
Yeah.
versus Yugioh as well.
Zuijo.
UDS versus Phaser.
There you
Wait,
go.
are you actually serious?
No,
No,
so
I was gonna
I
go
went
back
to.
to that.
I took a
You
picture
got
of
it.
it.
Yeah.
I think I thought I put NFTs.
Someone
nuts.
at work told me I didn't.
I went to
You
IHOP
did, you
like
did, you
about
did,
a
you
month,
did.
2 months ago, and it says open 24 hours again.
A Friday night. We're going. We're going.
We really
We're
should.
going.
I mean, we kind of have to.
That's not even far from me. Let's go to.
We gotta talk
Madawan.
about that.
That's
So, are we
close.
gonna see that movie or?
Which one?
Oh yeah, Friday. We have to figure that
Yeah,
out.
we gotta
I think
figure that
Dylan's working because
Yeah, I'm out.
He's cool.
But he saw it already. To be fair.
Sure,
What?
we don't care about him. Cal, did you see it?
I did not, but I also can't go.
And Friday
Well,
and
he is-
Saturday
he
you're
is
both busy.
winning.
I'm
Right?
going to be in North Jersey.
Let's do it. I'm out at work at.
We got
8.
$5 super
Yeah,
chat
go
from
back
Philip
late one,
Rosewood.
Thank you, Philip.
And Philip said, fantastic episode. Really made me shocked, emotional, and hyped to see our current pro tags go to 7s. Even as cats, still felt something. It was just great.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree 100%. Even, like, it almost felt like the cat part of it really didn't matter to me.
I forgot
Another
they
thing
were
we
cats.
got-
They're cats.
Yeah.
Like, no, but you know what I mean? Like, I didn't
know,
even
I know,
think of
that's
it
what I'm
that
saying.
way. It was like, I was like, oh, yeah, this
catastic.
is normal.
It was
But
fantastic.
I like it.
it wasn't catastrophic.
That was another one.
Oh boy.
It was it was perfect, Nick T.
Perfect.
We got a $2
Alright, yep,
super
that's
chat
enough.
from
This is
Crystal
good.
Colden.
That's just
Thank you, Crystal.
Thank you, Crystal.
And Crystal said, I now call Yuga Cat. He is Yugato. Yuga plus Gato.
yeah, God, I was.
I like that.
That's
You
cool,
got
though.
that.
That's
Yugato.
okay. That
Gato
works.
is Spanish for cat.
We
Yes,
can
it
even
is.
take it a step further. Yugatito. He's a
Kitten?
Yuga kitten.
Yeah?
But he's not a kid. He's a
You
cat.
got
He looks like a
He's like a
full-grown
medium.
cat.
He's a medium.
Yeah, no, he's a
cat.
cat.
He's a meat. Yeah, that's true. He's a meat.
That's a cat. We got a $5 donation from Night Fury Lover 31.
Night.
Thank you, Night Fury.
And Knight said, Yui's hair took on different shapes when each co-girl was referenced, so he doesn't just detect aliens.
Did it now? Did it now?
I did not notice
That
that.
I'll have to go back and look.
I did not notice
I
that.
remember I remember them saying something about it, or like focusing on it, and I thought it was when the other co-girl machine car came by. And it
Which
made
is
like
also
a
bizarre, by the way.
it made like a
Yeah.
different shape. I don't
You know, we also skipped over the fact that it's not important, but since you bring it up, that thing breaks down, right? It short
Yeah.
circuits. Let's assume that was just it
Cat
happened.
Yuga fixes it.
Cat Yuga literally just went in there and fixed it.
Yeah,
like
well-
he's a goddamn cat.
And he can still like.
just was a mechanic.
Yeah.
Just no problem.
He's like, oh, the
I
power.
mean, he is a genius. He really is.
Cat mechanic, bro.
Yeah, let me see what happens. We're gonna
Like,
monitor.
that-
look at
that's
his
a
hair
TV
right
show I
now,
would
even
watch.
here.
Yeah.
Apple
Cat-
Plus.
that's
Cat
different.
Mechanic.
Is it?
Yeah, hold on, let's see if we
It will be a
that's
show on
normal.
Apple
No,
Plus.
but it's
Yeah, I think
up.
it
It's
would.
just from a sky view.
No.
Wow.
Let's see if I can.
Um,
I don't want to
What's
miss
he
it.
cooking in there?
Huh?
What's he cooking?
See?
Oh.
They go to it. It
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
seem to be an alien, but the hair is completely different.
Oh, it's like a weird shape.
Yeah.
Like that she's not used to.
I'm a machine person, is what she says.
Yeah, it's like, why is it that weird shape?
Mm-hmm.
well, that is weird.
That is
I
weird.
told you it wasn't the same.
That is
shape, bro.
fascinating.
Yeah, good find there, Night Fury.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what that means, if it means anything, but that's interesting.
But it's like a
to know
symbol. It was weird.
It. Yeah, it looked like a symbol. Yeah, very strange.
Mm,
Co-girl Federation, maybe something like that.
Not sure
Maybe.
about that.
Maybe she's an alien.
Yeah, maybe
Boy,
maybe they're aliens that were told they weren't aliens.
But they're actually aliens.
But then when
Maybe
he
I don't.
detected-
Those co-girls are weird. I don't know.
I thought you liked the Cowgirls.
I do like them,
They're
but I
his
think
favorite
their
characters.
placement in the story is very weird.
It's a huge question mark.
It's a big unknown
Yeah,
right now.
that's what I mean. Yeah.
And also, Derpy Hero here brings up a good point. It's one that we've had questions for since the beginning of the show. Like, why does he specifically have this power?
Right.
Yeah.
We still have no idea.
We
We,
still
we
have no
I feel
idea.
like we defaulted it to like it's probably the Earth Damar.
Yeah.
But like that has no implication whatsoever or backing or anything.
No clue.
There was a power in Sevens that I thought got explained kind of not
that
great.
watch.
the watch.
The watch with Luke.
I
feel
hope
like
we don't
this,
get another one of
I feel like
those.
this might be similar.
Oh, it's just the watch.
yeah.
And you're
It's
like,
like
oh, we have thousands of these.
yeah. Yeah, or like it's within
God,
it's the
watch.
whole family's got it. Like, yeah, I don't know. I think it's got to be something, and hopefully we get a good answer to it. But questions about, I guess, main characters from the start of shows that wait a long time to get answered haven't always been the best answered at the end. So
that's true.
So we'll see. I mean, hopefully it does get answered.
I agree.
It's a good point.
Wait, I think I skipped one, right? Yeah. Did I read this one? No.
No, you didn't read it.
We got $20 from Colin Cleves.
Colin,
Hey,
thank you for the
Colin.
super generous super chat.
And
Thank you so much, man.
Colin said, "What I love so much about Yuga being here is that the studio didn't just use him, just as a cameo machine in arc finales. They really gave him so much more depth and growth, not just for him, but for the whole Go Rush crew as well."
That's absolutely right.
I fully agree, and I kind of want to pivot because a point I wrote here that we didn't really get to talk about is Yuamu's character. I feel like we have not brought up Yuamu at all.
No.
And which is kind of a sin because I thought this was maybe her best episode.
Shame.
It is a shame, and I should have brought it up earlier. I thought Yuamu was fantastic in this episode. I feel like this was the first episode where the super intelligent person that maybe doesn't let their emotions get in their way of their more logical thinking and
This is
judgment.
the opposite
Yeah.
for her.
This is the opposite. This was an emotional
Yep.
reaction, and it shows, I think, the kind of person that she is
Yep.
at heart, which is a very caring and empathetic person, wanting Yuga to not lose hope that he doesn't make it back to this timeline, knowing how important it is for him.
Yeah.
She had tears in her eyes.
Multiple
multiple
scenes.
times.
Yeah.
I never thought she would, this has really, really affected her. And I think but this has been building up now for a few episodes, even going back to her just walking and dueling Phaser, trying to figure out what her brother knew, that she couldn't logically put the pieces of the puzzle together. So this has been building up for a few episodes. It didn't feel like it was out of nowhere, but I thought this was a great episode for Yuamu. I don't know if you guys felt that the same.
No, I
100%.
agree.
And for Yuhi as well.
Yeah.
Even her, like the emotion she had when she was explaining how it's like they need to like we're having UTS. It was her life's work. It always has been. The emotion in her eyes when she's like, when we're gonna almost like that. I got that emotion like she's ready to do something to change it. Like
the denial. Yeah,
it's true. And again, this wasn't Yuga in a Sevens episode in a sense, like focusing on that. But I agree with you. It was a great episode for her. And we knew Yumu had that in her though. That had it just kind of. There's been so much going on. It's hard to give everyone time and lines and everything to build their character. So good for her though.
But to build off of Colin's point, I mean, it all does, at least in this case, revolve around Yuga and Yuga bringing the best out of certain characters.
But in a good way, because he very well could have been a cheap cameo.
Yeah.
And
for a cheap pop.
Yeah.
I also think that it shows how determined Yumu is to win. Because the thought of losing, because they realize she's like, UTS isn't here, she immediately is like, so we lost.
Yeah.
Like, it's over. We lost. We need to figure out a way to win. Yeah. Like, we have to go back. Like, I'm ready to fix this.
What? Yeah.
And meanwhile, they're not really on the path to being even involved in this getting
fixed.
Already
lost.
Yeah.
They already got
carded.
They
already lost. It's not up to them at this point.
Right.
So, like...
all up to you.
I know it in one way it's like, well, if we got to the future, we should be able to get back to the past, right? That's the way you have to think if you're in their shoes. It's like, yes, we're cats. Yes, we're in the future and we don't know how we got here, but there has to be a way back.
Yeah.
So I think in her eyes, it's we need to get back there to help, even if they're starting from square one and have no idea how to do it.
Yeah. Very well said. But good on Yuamu and Yuhi. It was a good episode for both of them, I thought. If we have any, absolutely.
Can I add to that?
100%.
No. To add to Caliber's point, it's not just about Yuamu winning. It's that you have to understand the context of the character, which obviously all you guys do and all you guys do as well. This is a character in Yuamu that she's been the leader of UTS, right? This has been her whole life and everything. And then when everything has happened with the Ryugu brothers and MIK, and now she's been driven underground. She's been leading the rebel resistance before she got carded for 2+ years. To get to the future and realize that everything was for naught.
Yeah.
And my company doesn't exist. Yeah. No one even remembers it.
No impact.
We probably lost. There's no aliens left. That a lot of them were my friends. That's a soul-crushing moment. And I think that's why she finally breaks. Like the dam finally breaks because she's been putting up not this front, but she's been the strong one. Yuki has not been there in these 2 years. He's hidden himself away, even though we know now he was dueling on the side. But still, he wasn't there for his sister or anybody else. She's been holding this whole thing up this whole time, and to realize that's for nothing, that's a horrible feeling.
Yeah.
And I think that's why she's so emotional in here. And I think it's a great connection, actually, to Yuga, because while Yuki is being like, he's making the ancestor joke, he's just saying like, Yuga's had all this on his shoulders that Schrodinger is explaining. We have to help, our ancestor, right? I think when the camera pans to Yumu, like she connects with him in that moment because both of these connected family members have been carrying enormous weights, and they can relate to each other in that way. So I thought that was a well done part.
Yeah, well said. Well said. On multiple levels, it was a very good episode for her. Yeah. But yeah, that's got to be a shitty feeling, right? You work so hard, and then you get to the future to see, what legacy your company left, and there's no records.
It's an empty plot of land.
Empty plot of land. Yeah, it's
surrounded by like high rises.
Yeah,
it's awful.
Yeah,
I think that costs like $4,900.
That probably costs about $4,900. Her plot of land is worth about probably $4,900.
That's it.
Monthly.
No,
for the whole thing.
In Manhattan, I could rent that plot of land for probably like a mil a year.
Well, it's not Manhattan. You're in.
You're in
Goha City is basically Manhattan at this point.
Oh my god.
You'd be paying an arm and a leg to develop there. I'll tell you that much.
I don't know if I'd say Goha City's Manhattan.
I mean, it's a major city.
It's a major
with
city.
a massive corporation. What do you think it is?
It's the cultural.
It feels more like St. Louis.
What?
It's small. It's got maybe one big corporation in it.
Did you just say it's like St. Louis?
St. Louis is like 4 blocks, or maybe Indianapolis.
How many times have you been to St. Louis?
0.
How many times have you been to Indianapolis?
0, but I know people that have been.
But
and I know it's like
that
5
St. Louis
blocks.
comment was so
that's right.
No, St. Louis is a beautiful city. Great sports fans.
The way you said it, I'm going. It's
that
like
was a great
blocks.
thing.
It's the gateway to the West.
No, it's small. Well, maybe not St. Louis. I was actually thinking of Indianapolis. I know, and people who've been there can back me up. Indianapolis is
which
like
are geographically
5 blocks.
very far.
They are geographically very far. So I said St. Louis in error.
End in S.
I said St. Louis in error, but Indianapolis is a very small, big city, they call it. And I'd say that it reminds me more of Indianapolis than Manhattan. It doesn't remind me of Manhattan. It's not as dense.
No, it's not as dense, but it is more of a cultural epicenter than Indianapolis.
But we haven't seen the other areas of Earth. Okay.
Why are you afraid to call it Manhattan?
It just doesn't remind me of Manhattan. I mean, come on.
There's something deeper there.
No,
New York could never. Anyway, we're just gonna move on from that. We got a $10 donation from Philip Rosewood.
Thank you, Philip.
And Philip said, "If the job girl turns out to be the creator in disguise, it wouldn't surprise me because it won't be the first anime I've watched that is a young boy or girl as some god observing as an observing type character in a story."
Is this a thing?
Yeah, it's a trope I think that has happened definitely before.
It's called Undercover Boss.
that was a good.
That was good. That's good.
No, I could definitely see that being the case here. I think there is a connection, whether he made them, whether it's him, whether I think there's got to be some tie-in between Yuga, Otis, and the creator.
Yeah,
there has to be. They're destined together for some reason.
Something.
Fated enemy.
Fated enemies. Yeah.
Fated enemies.
I got enemies. Got a lot. Of
I gotta run to the restroom and then we're gonna do the summaries chat. If you want to do a couple more, appreciate all you guys being here. Summaries for the last 2 episodes of this arc and our predictions for the UDS Phaser duel coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
Someone said.
Why are you looking at food?
No. Sorry, can I just say it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Someone in chat said that Fort Lee, which is like an hour from us, has curry bread.
Oh God.
I'm sure there's places closer with curry bread.
We might have to go.
We might have to go.
Might have to F around and get arrested.
What?
Hey, if we have around, we're gonna find out.
That's what happens. Sorry, but I got myself hungry.
Crystal Colden donated $5.
Thank you, Crystal.
And Crystal, Pete, this question's for you.
Oh, sure.
Is the timeline going to be on the final exam, Professor Pete?
I would say so.
Yes, unfortunately it is. I hope you took good notes.
It is cumulative.
We will, there will be a curve. There'll also be a study guide that I'll hand out about a week before. So make sure you just hit the main bullet points there, get in a couple study groups. You should be fine.
All right, thank you. Yeah, I'm going to need a copy of that study.
Yeah, and Colin, by the way, your grade probably talk after class. It's kind of slipping a little bit, so you really need to nail this final exam. So just talk after class and just stand back. Thanks.
Perfect. Thank you, Crystal. We got $6.01 Canadian from Pick Rick.
Pick Rick.
And Dylan's going to be obsessed that he misses this one because, guys, I feel like we're missing the bigger questions. Like, is Yu-Gi-Oh! 9 going to be announced in Jump Festa coming up in a little under 274,976 minutes? Now, that was at that time, but yes.
There's the minutes.
Yep.
He said he was going to do that.
Yep.
So thank you for calculating that.
190.
So yeah, Rick, that is a very astute observation here. Because the big question really is, will Yu-Gi-Oh! 9 be announced at Jump Festa this year?
I have a bigger question.
What is it?
Will JC RSVP?
Same brain cell, because I was thinking the same thing.
That is actually...
I don't think he has.
No, I don't think he has. And he only has 190 days, 22 hours, 19 minutes, and 11 seconds to count.
Yeah, which is concerning to me.
And you know, the funny thing is, like, I've seen him type and say hello.
He's donated.
Yeah,
he's trolled.
And it's just like
crazy.
Just never anything. Colin said RSVP, you coward.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to just say yes or no.
Absolutely ridiculous.
But yeah, I mean, that's something we're gonna have to bring up to JC.
I think what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to be like a car, insurance salesman. Every one of his Instagram pics, I'm gonna have to start commenting.
Hey,
below.
bro,
Hey,
hit me
man,
up.
just by the way, are you RSVP?
Or you say, "Hey man, check your DMs," and then it's a bunch of DMs about him having to.
We need to know. We're getting Telurchios.
How many people we need?
We should have
fried rabs.
I think that's the way to go.
He had the sub.
Oh, that is where he got that.
When DJ's little holiday party, that was great. Changed my whole life. Yeah, he had the little Telurchios,
the fried raviolis. That's the.
So we want to try to convince JC to RSVP sooner. We are doing Telurchios.
Yes, the That Man sub will be there again.
Yes, the That Man sub.
And we think that might convince JC to RSVP.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
I don't think it will, but I appreciate your optimism.
Yeah. You missed a donation from Pickrick where he calculated the number of minutes until Yu-Gi-Oh! 9 is going to be in.
Pickrick, I see that here. Thanks so much, man, for doing the calculations. Another thing that nobody questions, besides we have a countdown clock. We've had this countdown clock.
No one even comes in and goes like, "Why do you have that for Jump Festa?" They don't even ask, "What is that clock for?"
Right?
No one.
No
one says a word.
Yeah.
I mean,
that is a doomsday clock.
That's
actually.
crazy.
Yeah. And again, this is our fault. Yeah. We have done this to them. We have corrupted them.
Until next year's
completely our fault. We have done this.
That is so funny.
Yeah.
Is it accurate?
So, I'll do one more and then you can pull up summaries.
One more, and then we're gonna do the summaries.
Right. We got $10 more from Philip Rosewood.
Philip Rosewood, thank you, my man.
And Philip said, "Crazy crack theory, guys."
Okay, love it.
Yu-Gi-Oh! 9. We have our Yu-Gi-Oh! 9 Pro Tag team with Udius because he's an alien, so age doesn't matter, and an older Yuga because time stuff bonds beyond time type ending arc.
He's 100% right here, and I don't even think it's that much of a crack theory, Philip. I've felt like this could end up being like a trilogy story. I really have. So I don't think that's crack. I mean, I guess maybe it is a little bit because we don't know if Yu-Gi-Oh! 9 will even exist. We have to keep our fingers crossed. And Go Rush could be the last anime. There's no indication that it will be, but you just don't know until it gets announced. So I'll be sweating the whole month of December until the day actually comes. It'll be freezing. That thing though, if Yu-Gi-Oh! 9 is like 200 years in the future of Go Rush, or even in the future of Sevens, Udius theoretically should still be alive because he's an alien. He doesn't age. The Vulgarians could have the lifespan of 1,000 years. We really don't know. So
what if Yuga's in it like Yoda? He's got the little cane and he's there to teach everybody.
And like the end of the first season of Yu-Gi-Oh! 9, he just fades into dust like Yoda did. That's what happened to Yoda.
No, it's not.
He's into the Force.
They're different. They're very different.
What is wrong with this man?
So, Dylan, about those summaries.
All right. So here's the summaries.
I don't even know why I come to this.
Philip, thank you so much, my man. Here's the summaries for 63, 64, and the titles for 65 and 66. Dredge, would you like to read?
Dude, it's always. I'll read them. I'm not going to make you do that. Jesus Christ, dude.
Did you want me to? I could blow it up.
I got it.
Thanks, man. Appreciate
Episode 63, The Last Dragon Chronicles. By the way, spoiler territory. We are reading the summaries. The Last Dragon Chronicles. Phaser uses Yuhi and the other carded people as hostages in order to pressure Udius into helping out with Operation MIK. Udius agonizes over what choice he should make, but upon learning that there's a way to return the carded people back to normal, he decides to face Phaser in a duel, with the fate of all of his friends on the line.
Damn, rip the friends, dude.
64. The word that's cut off on line 3 is just end.
Oh, okay. Episode 64. Those who are born on the star. Phaser's secret is finally revealed. A kind brother who has sworn to protect his little brother from aliens. He himself is also burdened with a tragic fate. Udius remains resolute in the fact of Phaser's overwhelming power. His strong belief in his friends and everything he cherishes will help him reach a new height.
So those are most likely the final 2 episodes of this arc. 65 sounds like kind of a joke arc starter. What's in the box? Pew, 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 pew.
What's in the box?
Yeah, it could be a funny 7 because that movie is called 7.
It is called,
so that could be a funny reference.
Could be. And then 66, the Galaxy Cup begins.
Oh, it actually
tournament arc.
Why does he get cut off on my? Oh, never mind. I'm down. That's
No, you're good.
I was wondering. I was looking at yours. Like, what the hell?
So very excited that we might have a tournament, but let's just stay in the realm of this.
We can't go past.
No,
that.
we can't go past that. But
in the realm of the arc,
exciting things to come in the future. We get a lot here about Phaser. The summaries I already see the path of redemption here for the Ryugu brothers. I think that's absolutely where they're going. Seems like there's another element at play here above their head, kind of like pulling the strings. That's not too surprising to me because it's Yu-Gi-Oh. But what do you guys make of the summaries?
So I'll speak quickly on the way I'm thinking about this. My not so yet probably crack theory is that Phaser is also a creation of the creator. Yeah. And he was created to protect his brother for whatever his brother's importance is. And that's what the also burdened with a tragic fate is that if he fails, if he perishes, he just comes back to life to continue doing what he's supposed to be doing, which also kind of helps the whole paradox theory as well.
Absolutely. I do love that. And I will say as well, to just kind of add on to what you just said.
Okay. I was like, wait. I was really confused.
This is my Tiananmen Square.
Funny. Yeah, I don't think you could say that.
Just a funny group chat thing.
That's what it was.
I will say this. I think that it's very telling that the wording of burdened with a tragic fate is the exact same wording that they said about Yugioh in the 50 or 51 summary. And we learned that tragic fate was that he was a puppet of the creator, essentially. We already saw something happen to Phaser that reminded me of something that happened to Yugioh during his duel with Udius, where Phaser is clutching his chest and then passes out shirtless in front of his home. And Tremolo brings him into the house. I think that could have been the creator maybe trying to instill control once again. And the ones that are born on the star, I mean, that could also imply that maybe he is an alien. Very good title. I've already read these summaries and analyzed them. This is the first time you're seeing them, Pete. I mean, what do you make of it?
I'm very excited. I will say that, it kind of does seem like we're going down the sympathetic route, so... Yeah, it kind of sucks that, we finally, I felt like, had a really solid duo of villains here.
Yep.
And we're redeeming another group, possibly. I'm not going to say definitively, but seems like that's where we're going. And when you say, that's Yugioh, that's Rush Yugioh. That's not our normal 6 shows before that. Yeah. So that part is just the one thing that really grinds my gears in the chair. It really does.
Yeah.
But, we'll see where it goes. I'm interested to see something that's not in these summaries, and you just mentioned it. I feel like our boy Yugioh is coming back maybe at the end of 64 here for some...
Oh, yeah.
I feel like some kind of connection or something. I mean, this man's been out there on some mission. We haven't heard from this man in a while. He popped in, just smacked Manabu up, dipped.
Yeah.
So what's going on here? What's he doing?
Yeah.
And if they're in a similar boat, in between Phaser and Yugioh, I feel like that could factor in some way. But I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, it is, normally in Yu-Gi-Oh! There's maybe one character, one villain that doesn't usually get redeemed. Because I look back at Arc 5, Yuri was a big villain, he got redeemed. Vector and Zexal kind of got redeemed. 5D is all the villains of every season except, well, actually, no, really all of them kind of got redeemed.
What, 5Ds?
Yeah. And then, I mean, they kind of did. He was more sympathetic in that route. And then GX, the very last one, was the only one that didn't. But with Vrains, you had obviously Lightning that never did. Bowman, not really.
No.
He just kind of
No.
did. Yeah. But
No.
outside of Vrains, I can really only think of maybe one villain per Yu-Gi-Oh! That doesn't get redeemed. And I think the character that's not going to get redeemed in this one is going to be the creator, Otis. I think that's what they're leading up to.
I still feel like there's some villains in Duel Monsters that are
Well, I mean, Pegasus did. Marek, it was his Dark Spirit he fought off. So
But still had the Dark Spirit
the Yami version.
Yeah,
did,
Yami version.
was awful.
Yeah.
So was this man.
Who else we got?
So was that man, yeah. I mean,
Technically not,
Noah you feel
darts.
sympathetic for.
Darts.
Darts you feel sympathetic for,
Why
though.
wasn't there for darts?
Well, do you remember how the season ended?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why wasn't there for darts?
Because he was wasn't he under the control of the seal? With his backstory, I'm pretty sure there was another power force there.
You're stretching.
I haven't seen season 4 in a while, but no, I think there was another power there.
I didn't feel bad for darts. Darts. Didn't.
Well, whether you feel bad or don't, I mean that doesn't.
No,
really
I don't
matter,
think he
but-
redeemed. I don't think he redeemed. No.
I would say he kind of got redeemed.
Bakura, there's
Bakura did not. No.
No.
Yeah.
He-
I'm wearing recorder shirt.
Yeah, Bakura did not. But I mean, it is a common trope. I think through most Yu-Gi-Ohs. Even Akaba Leo. I mean, he technically got redeemed.
He was a fool.
but he got.
That's different.
He
I
was
don't
a
know.
fool.
Who?
Akaba Leo in Arc 5. I mean,
I
he
don't
was
know.
a fool.
He was a fool.
And Yuri's redemption wasn't good, but he did get redeemed. I mean, that was terrible. But, it is something that
He only got redeemed because he was one of the 4.
Yeah, but he was smiling, having a good time with them.
But that ending was terrible.
No, I said it was terrible, but I'm saying it is something that does happen, and I think that I think this show is trying to really play into one big evil, essentially leader and God, and I think that's the creator.
I need one.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the creator, and whether he's executed well or not, I mean that's going to be the judgment call. A lot of people did not feel that Otis was executed well, and that's why we look at 7s and we're like, man, the villains there are just, oh boy.
But some of the villains in past Yu-Gi-Ohs, even if you see them as sort of redeemed, I would argue you really realistically in some ways shouldn't. I mean, some of them did horrific
No,
things.
I agree. I agree. But some of the ones that did the most horrific things were under influences of outside forces. I think about
Zirhan.
Okay, I don't even.
That was I swear to God, that was like him speaking in tongues. That was literally like you were speaking in tongues.
You know what I'm talking about. Isn't that the guy?
Okay,
my point's done.
Don't mess with the Zohan?
No,
That's
no,
all
no,
I
no,
thought of
no,
when you
no.
said that.
It's Saran.
Yeah.
oh my god.
I would like to strike all Nick T's comments from the record. I want that taken out of the record.
I'm just saying.
Hey.
No.
Normally I say this to Dylan. Call it a day. Alright? Hey. Call it a day. Alright?
Did you get your people confused?
No, I didn't at all.
No, he knew exactly what he was talking about.
All right, we've got to make our predictions for who's going to win this duel. Let's just
Because
let's just make our predictions.
he was apparently
It's okay,
under
No.
MK Ultra
Call it a day.
What's up?
when he
Okay.
RFK.
Are we answering?
All right,
Not ready.
3.
Not ready.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
3, 2, 1, send it.
Okay.
Yo, but I hate. I gotta go. I can't do it. It's not fair.
First dance.
I know what it is.
Yeah.
I know what it is.
Bet you do.
She's a great poet. Listen, we've all picked the same character here. That's on
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, it's on.
We've all
Both of them.
I'll say
Both.
that.
No, that's on me.
both.
That's on me.
We've all picked the same character here.
It's, I don't even need. It's
Yeah,
pretty
we're not
straightforward.
going to go around the
No,
table.
Don't need to.
Why don't you just
Just hit the button.
I think
Just
if
hit
you
the button.
look at, show the.
Just hit the button.
Yeah,
We're all picking Udius. It's the end of an arc.
Look at our timeline says it all. You know, in the original, Phaser wins. He just unless we want to continue this loop, we something needs to change.
Yeah, in the original, I'm not even like 100% convinced that Phaser even like existed. I just think that the wiping out all of the aliens definitely happened. Because Phaser might be a creation only because Yugioh was able to break the cycle through rush duels. And if rush duels weren't like created back then, well, maybe, yeah,
So,
I don't know.
well, are you saying,
no, you're on to something.
I think I like what you're saying. You're saying basically because they were able to end the war, the creator created a new thing to stop them from advancing forward.
Right.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Either way, whether it's Phaser or not, I think the operation in itself of MIK deleting the aliens.
This is a point I wanted to make, and
Yeah.
this fits in here if you would allow me.
Yeah, of course.
Well, if it was your show.
Yeah, he's not in charge.
But that actually could factor in still to somewhat of the paradox that could save us. But in the original creation of it, Yuga coming back to Go Rush, coming back to the past, that is the only reason Yugioh is there. Yugioh being there is what creates Udius there. Udius, in the whole scheme of this, is the ultimate threat to the creator.
Yeah.
He's the one that's beaten every threat, including probably Phaser coming up here.
Yeah.
And so, but that was all caused by the loop of Yuga attracting Yugioh, who brings Udius, and then it creates the whole thing.
Yeah.
And
remember,
Udius is the thing that the creator did not account for.
And Yuga sought out Udius and gave him the dual disc and the cards. Yeah,
So I think that's how it
knowing
works, too.
that Udius was a savior of the loop. Yeah, I definitely agree with that 100%.
He's the fly in the ointment.
Yeah,
Ooh, well said.
I like that. I'm wondering where chat is right now. 88% for Udius. We'll let that run. I'm surprised it's not a little higher. Until it ends with our hero character losing an arc finale, in Rush Yugioh, I am never picking against them. Never picking against them. Because there's no data that indicates that that's going to change. And this duel, to me, is way too important. And they're already trying to be more sympathetic to Phaser and the brothers. So I don't think they're going to have him win here. If it was different and they were actually going to stay threats, I could maybe see them winning here to keep their threat alive going forward. It is a little annoying that, like, Tremolo probably will never get defeated, and he's just going to be kind of redeemed, and that'll be that.
He's the brother that needs to be protected.
Yeah, so maybe not. Maybe they'll defeat Phaser, but Tremolo will be like a big threat in the next arc, and maybe that's who you have to go after.
I think he'll be more tending to whatever happens to his brother.
Yeah, and I guess Udius did defeat him, so I guess that probably counts. I actually totally forgot that Udius defeated him. I remember he got arrested. But yeah, Udius
he didn't get carded. That's why.
Right, but I guess he did technically get defeated. So yeah, that was
pulled apart the maximum.
Yeah.
He did that move that you like.
Mm-hmm. No, that's honestly probably my favorite duel of the arc. I think that's such a good duel.
Can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Can you ask what time Dredge needs to leave for his rush meeting?
What time?
He's punching a frat. You gotta ask him what time he needs to leave.
Dude, nice.
Judge, you're pledging, bro.
You
Nice,
know.
man.
That's why me and Pete were laughing.
It
looks bad. It looks really bratty.
So we
Yeah, but in the right spot.
No, don't do it.
That was a good one.
Well, you actually done that, so.
Albert hazed me in
That's
college.
true.
Can you describe it?
Not
on
legal-
camera.
Not legally. Yeah.
I didn't do anything.
Hey, you didn't have to.
My
So
lawyer said not to.
can I say this?
Yes,
No.
please.
So whatever.
Obviously, in the next couple of episodes, we are going to look.
This is so bad.
We are going to look forward to
too.
the Galaxy Cup. We're not going to spend too much time here talking about it, but I do want to touch on it for a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems like we're getting a tournament, which I always think is cool because that can lead to like mouth-watering matchups, like Udius versus any hero character.
No,
that
you can't say mouth-watering and then not give me one. You got to
Sure.
give me an example.
Well,
can't say-
my first thought was Yuhi versus Yuamu, like an actual duel between them.
Come on, that's the most creative you can get.
I think that's a duel that otherwise would never happen. But in a tournament, it could happen. Because there's other creative duels I can think of, but like...
Me too.
They can actually... Like what?
Mr. Miyagi versus anybody. Literally
I knew that's what he was gonna
anybody.
say.
The problem is, there's honestly, like... there's
That's
not,
a good one.
What about-
I like that one.
what about Yumu?
Rovian and Yuna.
Robin, Una.
That is
good.
one. I
Love it.
might fall asleep in the middle of it, but that's not a bad one. That's
You know what?
Did Yuamu versus the Luke?
No.
I would see Yuamu versus the Luke. I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
Oh, have Udius
have
and
the Providence duel.
Udius and
The Providence
the
duel.
Luke versus Yugioh.
Yeah, the Jersey Devils duel each other.
No.
I'd like to see
so
one of
you
them.
would fall asleep during Goha Yuna and Rovian, but you want to watch two pointless Jersey Devils duel.
What about
Get out of here.
What about Mama Jersey?
Yeah, what if Big Mama Jersey comes in duels? No, to be fair to that duel, I do like Go Ayuna. I would not mind
High
seeing her
fusion,
duel.
chicken parmesan.
That would be.
Now I'm
cool.
getting hungry.
I've been hungry.
I'm thinking
Show me the
I'm
curry
thinking
bread.
IHOP, you
We're
know.
thinking IHOP. I'm dying over here.
I'm thinking I'm early in the morning, bro.
All right.
Call out.
Should I continue?
Yeah, you can continue.
All right. We got $6.66 from that man 666.
Yeah,
man.
thank you, that man. Thank you, man.
That man said 0% for bad. Did the trolls/haters stop bashing on this podcast?
It seems like they may.
Well, I don't know if anyone necessarily I mean, people probably bash on the podcast. I think someone bashes on everything. But I will say that in terms of the episode, I think when people say the episode is bad in the poll, I think they're probably more bashing on the show than our podcast.
Probably.
But
I mean, there's definitely people that
I feel
don't
like he meant.
us.
Oh no! There's plenty of people that don't like me. I don't think there's about you guys. I don't think there's anyone that just doesn't not like you guys.
Thanks,
But I'll tell you what I've done for 5 years now.
How many years?
Since 2018, 5 years.
That's a lot of years.
I mind my own business. I don't search my name on Twitter. I don't search my name on Reddit.
I search your name on Twitter. You should see what there is.
You can search my name all you want. I don't do it, and there's probably some nice things. There's probably some not so nice things. But by not seeing it, it doesn't exist. That's the beautiful thing about the
Ignorance
world.
is bliss, bro.
Yeah, by not seeing it, it literally does not exist. So I have not seen anything negative about me or my content that's like hateful negative since probably 2018, 5 years ago.
I don't think it's healthy to really search your name.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's
not in the space you're in.
No, it's not. It's not. Because if I like a show that somebody else doesn't like, then it's
a problem.
It's a problem. Yeah, then there's shots taken at me just because I like a show. I don't think I've ever really said anything very, very inflammatory on the series. Maybe like I don't like Arc 5's ending, and that was the whole thing. There were people.
I think
that
there's a lot of
Arc
people
5.
there.
You slander GX a lot.
But I do it in a loving, playful way, and I give GX props. I say season 3 is one of the best seasons ever.
No.
I slander
And
GX's
I would say
first half.
I invite anyone out there. I'm sure Calibro would agree. We can hang out. We'll smoke some stuff, and we'll just watch GX.
It's probably a
I like
great
that. I like
experience.
that.
You know,
I'm
cool
on
with it.
episode,
That was the Nadine or anybody out there.
Probably
I'm on
wonderful
episode like
experience,
81.
yeah.
81.
Yeah,
I'm
boy.
at
That's what
Sayo,
I'm saying.
Mizuchi.
Yeah.
Nick
Yeah.
T's in.
I
I'm
have
definitely
people in my circle
saw
and
Kaiba
like
again.
and like on the
Yeah.
Discord and even like people that comment a lot in streams and
We're smoking
videos
some stuff?
that will give me constructive criticism that is important to grow my channel, and it's not blatant hate.
No.
Right,
So
there's
I
a
just-
difference.
There's a huge difference, yeah, and constructive criticism is always important. And I have people that are in my circle and
We've done that.
people that come to my
for sure.
streams
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot that are super helpful with that. But like, I haven't read
library.
a mean comment about me probably in like 5 years.
I've
And
read a
obvi-
lot.
Well, and that's fair. Obviously,
I
they're
love it.
yeah, obviously they're out there, but by me not seeing them, they just don't exist.
Well, he's not gonna like his birthday present I got for him. Then. I printed out so many comments.
You just blew it up and framed it.
Can you
It's going in the
imagine?
living
It's
room.
a giant poster.
It's like the
That's
worst
funny.
comments you could find,
Yeah.
and you put them in a compilation.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some
This
good
is
ones.
how people think of you.
You did it in the in like serial killer writing where you're cutting out all the
It
letters.
looks like newspaper articles. Yeah.
That'll take forever.
That's so funny. Yeah.
That'll take a while. Now Dylan's really nervous for his birthday.
I'm not nervous. No, well, that's the other thing. Like, I mean, I can.
Sorry, that hurt.
No, hateful comments
Yeah,
don't bother me, but like, there's no point for me to read them.
No,
No, actually, Colin brings up the great point. Are you saying that X-Slayer doesn't exist by that logic?
But X-Slayer does it in a loving, fun way.
Yeah.
At least in my, well, maybe not, but I mean, it feels that. It doesn't feel actually like.
X-Slayer.
there's no
Oh, Bree, that's a
X-Slayer's
bad
good
idea.
person.
No,
Yeah.
that's what
I like it.
we
That's
gave
a
a bad
genius
idea.
idea.
We gave her a really bad
Our
idea.
next meme video.
That would actually be pretty funny. Yeah, you do have to laugh at them because like when you're making content on the internet, there's going to be people that don't like you. There's going to be people that hate you for whatever reason. And
For existing.
For existing. It doesn't matter what field of content you're in.
No.
My example is if you promoted a charity, there would be someone that gets mad at you for not promoting a different charity.
Oh, of course.
But yeah, people get mad.
I
at
mean,
it.
it's crazy. People
Well,
get mad at Mr. Beast all the time.
For helping people
Right.
like cure blindness.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, so you only did this for views. It's
Right.
like, do you realize what he's doing?
Yeah.
He needs the views to get the funding in order to
actually,
do
there
it.
was a comment I saw on that once was so messed up. It was just like, it was basically someone criticizing what happened and was saying, wow, another person giving handouts to people. Yeah. And it was just like, what? Bro, they're blind. I mean, like, what is wrong with you?
No, and that's the other thing. There's also people that I feel like you can never tell if they're serious or just trolling.
I
think a lot of them are serious,
than you think.
but there's no reason to even expose yourself to it. So, like, my advice, if you're ever going to be a content creator, definitely take constructive criticism from people that you trust, people that are in your videos and streams a lot, or friends. But do not search your name on Reddit, on Twitter, because I don't think it's great for your mental health.
No, absolutely not.
I've heard that same advice from like huge content creators.
Oh, really?
Who talked about there's two that I follow that had like pretty like tough times, and they like said like the moment they started like letting go and not checking, like their mental health improved drastically.
Yeah, because if you don't check, they don't exist.
Yeah.
So like
way better.
So
even though I'm nowhere near the size that you are in terms of
you still
YouTube
deal
channel,
with it.
you told me that, and I turned off my notification for comments. You said, "Why do you even look? Like,
don't
who
even
cares?"
look.
And like I remember a classic one that people had. It was like one of my only big criticism was people would come in. And a lot of times I'll do reaction videos or reviews or stuff like that. And people would be mad that they couldn't watch the episode of the video. I'm like,
watch the episode.
It's heavily edited for a reason so it doesn't get through copyright. This is not a place to watch the episode. It's to watch me watch the episode.
It for the second time to see someone react because it's
drove
called a
me
reaction.
nuts.
Yeah, so I mean that's the probably best advice I can give. Do something you love. Don't plan on doing it for money or anything like that. Make sure it's per passion, and then just don't search yourself. And don't look at comments. I no longer look at the comments of my videos after like 30 minutes. No. And I'll get Ivrea, because I always ask people for suggestions. I'll get Ivrea to, and I'm very thankful that she does this, to go through comments on certain videos. And she has a Google Doc that she's shared with me for suggestions, for video suggestions that people
just
put.
To filter through all the
so I've got a Google Doc of like all these video suggestions, and I don't have to like worry about reading a comment that's like,
it's the better way to do it.
100%, yeah. So... You know, it's but yeah, I mean, listen, I love it. I love this, but that's definitely an element that you just don't need to bother with. No, I think
it's dangerous.
It is dangerous.
True,
because it can really make you feel bad. Yeah.
Wow.
Caliber.
What do you?
But that man, thank you. We went off a long tangent there, but thank you for the devil donation. I appreciate you, man.
Thank you, that man. We got $5 Australian from Electra Kevin.
Thank you, Kevin.
Kevin said, Dill, back in your Arc 5 review days, I remember you saying you actually liked the Battle Beast character. Like, what changed your mind?
So I don't remember those reviews. So to be fair to you, you definitely might be right about that. I mean, that was 7 years ago. So I
was on Clueless Games.
That was 2016. So I don't remember me actually liking it or not. And I may have when it first happened. But there's times where I'll watch an episode or a duel and think it was cool. And then as the show progresses and then you look back on it in hindsight, there's no more, the recency goggles are gone. My opinion can change quite drastically. That's one where the more that I looked at how Arc 5 concluded and how long that arc was, the fact that it was, it kind of interrupted the Shun and Rory duel, which we had been waiting for so long. When I was able to look at that duel from an overall perspective, my just anger towards it grew. And so if I did like it at first, it was just recency. And if Arc 5 ended in I think a more appealing way, I probably wouldn't poke fun at that arc as much as I do. But when you have an ending that just was kind of all over the place, and there were 5, or if the Battle Beast character was more important at the end. I mean, he ended up being a one-off character that took 4 to 5 episodes to deal with. Yuya makes him smile, but Yuya's been making people smile the whole show. He just did it with the Tyler twins, 10 episodes ago. So it didn't help Yuya's character at all. So to me, it was just they needed to card people. They needed to fill time, even though they didn't. Again, now I'm getting...
Now he's ranting.
Now
he's getting a little heated. I know, I get it.
I can't do it.
It's okay.
But,
it's okay.
Take a drink of
I mean,
water.
okay, you're right.
Gotta make him smile.
Take a couple sprays,
Gotta make him smile.
You're right. I gotta take
Spritzes.
sprays. But Kevin, thank you, man.
Thank
And
you.
maybe
That's
I
the
did.
good
I don't
stuff,
remember
right?
saying, yeah.
Hey, Joe, remember, the fun has just begun.
And there goes his tooth.
Yeah, wait.
Are you good, bro?
Yeah, I'm good. That was
He peels one out.
Imagine he's playing.
Yeah,
Fun
good.
has begun.
He's got a fake
Remember
tooth.
that.
He pulls it out.
Don't forget that.
The fun has just begun. I'll never forget that.
All right. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.
We
Thanks,
got
Kevin.
$5 from Gravity Hero.
Thank you, Grav.
And Gravity Hero said, "Is it just me, or did the Funko wall get bigger again?"
What Funko wall?
You would have to tell in a Twitch stream.
Yeah, it got a little bigger because I got
It is bigger.
4 Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh my God, you did!
I did.
I haven't
Is Rocket? Why do you have 2
Wait,
Cosmos?
I have
Look
3.
at the leaning tower of Funkos over there.
I have 3 Cosmos.
That's Rocket.
I like Cosmo a lot. It's a talking dog, and I love.
You don't
dogs.
even know anything about the character.
I don't. I only know it from the movie. But I am kind of inclined to read about the character.
No, you're not going to.
No, I am.
You know,
inclined.
look
He's
at me right now.
look
at me right now.
he's
You're not going to read about the character.
I
He's
might
inclined.
read about it.
He's
You're not.
inclined.
I'm not going to commit to it, but I
Can
might
you
read
describe
about
the difference between the two of the
Can I
three
finish the
Cosmos?
donation
Yeah.
first?
We're never gonna.
it. Yeah, you can finish it.
Also, this episode was a 10 out of 10. To be honest, I didn't even notice Jack until now. As
Right?
in
Isn't that
Jack-
crazy?
See, that's a
skeleton came
problem.
over
See,
here.
that's a problem.
That is a problem.
Is that our fault or is that their
Yeah,
fault?
no, it's our fault.
It's
It is
our
ours.
fault because
Well,
we
he's also
made
a little hidden, you know? Just enough.
He's 7 feet, Cal.
We've made
3 feet too short.
all right. So I'll
I
explain
agree.
the Cosmos. So the one in the middle is a Dorbs one. So it's a little tinier. It's a different design. That's the blue.
Is it a
one.
different line?
That's the
It
blue
is
one.
a different line, but it's still Funko. The one on the left is flocked, so it's furry.
Okay.
And the one on the right is the regular one.
Oh, that one. Oh.
I didn't know they even make fur.
Yeah, so they're 3
They're rare.
different
They're rare to find. I got
Funkos.
very lucky at Hot Topic that it was there in the Pokedex.
And then Baby Rocket
In
is
the
the one
Poconos.
next to it.
And then
all the way on top
you have
there.
one
They're
up
coming on
there.
screen.
That's the
All
flock.
right, so that's the flocked one. So that's got the
And then you have
furry.
a ship rocket over there.
Yes.
Yeah, the big one, yeah. And he has Baby Rocket.
You told me it was getting better.
Okay, the Adorbs one is really cute.
The Adorbs one's very cute. I don't regret that one at all. It's tiny. It's a dog. It's a dog that has powers. That's I love that.
No, this is the flocked one.
And that's
Oh,
the
that's
flocked
the flocked one, yeah.
So that's furry.
Yeah. See, that's
Yeah.
like furry.
Cosmo is a good boy. Yes, Cosmo is a good
No,
boy.
Cosmo's a bad boy.
No.
No, don't say that. That's offensive.
Make sure you put him back the way you took him.
He's, he's
Good. I'm glad he did.
he's calling for violence.
Good.
Now put the Dorbs one in like a random other spot.
Put him back the way. I like that you looked at us for like validation. When you said that, too.
saw your faces, I knew.
No, it's a different size. It'll throw off the whole tower if you put it underneath.
That's the point. Oh. It's slightly off anyway because the one is in its case.
Right. Because normal people that are collectors to this degree, they buy display cases instead of just putting them on the floor.
Except the one. Yeah. Or two, maybe? Oh.
Wow.
they just rearranged
Husky
it.
Oh yeah, that
hair.
wasn't even part of it.
Yeah, but that's a new one, isn't it?
All right, judges are rearranging the Funko wall. I'm not gonna be able to put that back.
Did you have a rhyme or reason?
That
for
looks
most of
real. It looks so much worse. Oh my god.
it?
Wow, that's stressful.
Just having that
My
little-
OCD is killing
Yeah, just
me
having
right
those
now.
little
Wow.
gaps in there.
Yeah,
Is,
Judge removed a bunch of them. That's okay. It doesn't bother me actually.
It's
I,
just-
it's
it's
actually,
only like a
I actually have
3-month.
to fix it. It's
Yeah, it
bothering
doesn't
me.
bother me.
Judge, it's only a 3-month ban.
No, it's not a ban. It's not a ban. It's just a
He just
stern.
doesn't throw those around anymore, you know?
It's just a stern
Stern
talking to.
What's wrong with you?
It's that Office skit with Jim and Dwight. Just like, so what happens? Well, the first one's a warning, and then the second one, just salutation.
Dude, Jesus. It's like you can't fire him. You can't
That's
do anything.
fine. That doesn't bother me that much.
Okay.
But the other ones are back.
You're not okay. It's just the Cosmos that are different.
Yeah, because that was just
So yes, the wall did get a little bit bigger. I did buy 4.
It's actually almost touching the ceiling.
About 4 in the last month.
Yeah, there's like
No,
10 more coming.
Oh, 4 in
Yeah, how many did you order?
There's not any. I didn't order the new.
Yes, you
wave.
did. You have 6 coming.
Oh.
Actually, you have 7 coming.
Yeah, those I did order.
Yeah.
If I asked you to name the new Guardians team that you saw at the end of the movie, could you remember it?
Cosmo, Rocket. I remember the animals.
Kraglin.
Kraglin. I was gonna say him next.
You would have never gotten that.
You never would have got it.
Nebula.
What's the girl's
Not
name?
part of it.
What's the new girl's name? I'm drawing a blank.
Not Mantis. She's gone.
Technically, in the movie, they didn't name
Adam
her.
Warlock. The one character they didn't name. I'm not
That's fair.
studious
She
enough.
has a name.
Fair.
A girl has a name.
They
Girl
did
has
say
name.
her first, they did say
No
her first
name.
name.
That's
yeah.
it.
Girls know.
And that's it.
That was it.
Yeah. Warlock, Kraglin, Cosmo, Rocket, and the girl that didn't get named.
Okay, that was it.
What about Groot?
And Groot. I forgot about Groot. Not a big Groot fan personally, but I did.
No.
It's King Groot. King Groot. Okay.
You don't like Vin Diesel?
We may have spoiled the movie because that movie's only like 2 weeks.
Don't matter.
Actually, that's very minor. Yeah, that doesn't.
Also, that's not 2
It's
weeks.
actually like a month.
We didn't see it opening weekend in Chicago
It's like the
3
third
weeks
weekend.
ago.
Yeah, you're right. Trying to blow up in Chicago.
No.
That's my thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was exactly my comment.
Anyway, thank you, Gravity Hero.
Thank you, Grav.
Natalie Lopez donated $5.
Thank you, Natalie.
Natalie said, "Hi everyone. My
Hi.
newest theory is: what if rush duels are the anomaly in the timeline, and rush duels are intentionally causing problems and have to go?
That's
This would lead us into Nick T's theory of the only way to stop the paradox is to destroy rush duels altogether.
No. I made the meme.
Nick, do you speak about that?
I was the one that made the meme about the poorly funded and overworked Gallop.
Yes.
And then the
Because you're on their side.
No. They had to go, and now we've got Bridge.
Right. Go's gotta go.
I could repost the meme.
You should repost the meme. It's a great meme.
You're a Gallop agent. You rode the wave, right?
No,
you couldn't at first come in for being a Gallop kind of supporter.
He had to get trusted.
You had to ride the wave, kind of look for your moment where they're gonna kind of the Rush universe is gonna crash and burn, and you took that one crack. And
he figured me out.
I did. I got him.
And would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for these meddling kids.
Natalie, thank you so much. Yeah, Rush Duel being the anomaly, I mean, that definitely could be the thing here. I mean, it's either going to be the thing that saves, I think, the time loop, or it's going to be the thing that has to maybe go.
They might be confronted with that idea, and they're going to be like, "No, we're not getting rid of it."
Another
and
way.
they find a way. Yeah, exactly. As those shows go, that's fun.
That is true.
It'll be through the power of friendship.
Could be.
Go.
That's a very Yu-Gi-Oh thing.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Natalie. We got a $10 donation from Rewindin'.
Thank you, Angie. Appreciate it.
And Angie said, when Machine Sirocco doesn't feel well, does she go to the mechanic or does she go to the doctor?
That's a valid point.
I think she goes to the mechanic.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think if she's not feeling well, it's because she's a truck.
I think she goes to Yuga.
Well, Yuga's gone.
What about when he's not there?
Now, when you said that,
She
do
calls.
you mean she's not feeling well because as it constitutes itself, she's a truck, or she's not feeling well because she's a truck?
I think she...
Wow.
She's got a lot
I
on her
don't know.
plate. She,
I couldn't understand
she's
that.
carrying a heavy load.
Like, is she not supposed to be a truck and
Oh,
she's
no,
a
no,
truck
no.
that causes the issue?
I think she's supposed to be a truck.
You mean like the toys in Toy Story that Sid puts together?
God, that's right.
Horrifying.
Yeah. He puts the baby's
Isn't
head on
he
the
in a
spider
later
thing.
one in like Toy Story 3?
I don't remember.
I think he's somewhere there.
I
Or
don't-
he's in one of the... Like,
He's
in
probably in
some
4.
continuity
He's
somewhere.
probably in Toy Story 4, because I think it's the last one, right?
Something like that.
Yeah.
I think I only saw the first 2 anyway.
What?
Oh no, wait, no. The third one the one where they're at the daycare?
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't seen the 4th one then.
Wait,
He's in
Cal
3 as a
hasn't
garbage
seen
man.
Season 1 of JJK?
What?
What?
Cal hasn't seen season 1 of JJK? Is that what we're talking about? Is that now we're
That's
talking
okay,
about?
Brian.
We're talking
I
about
heard he
we're
hadn't
talking
seen
about
something.
Toy Story.
Oh! I saw 1, 2, and 3. I haven't seen 4.
That's what I said.
Oh!
So you clearly haven't
4
finished
solid.
JJK either.
4 solid.
I mean, I could recite some of the Japanese in practice, so.
You
Never got
can
the cafe.
Daijouba. Boku Saiku Dakara.
Thank you.
What does that mean?
Don't worry, I'm the strongest.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
We're gonna switch to some positivity here. We got a $5 donation from Goosey Q. Goose. And Goose said, Pete, you got this one?
Me.
Do it.
Whoa!
It's the same thing every week.
Sending positive vibes and kindness to everyone. Keep things PG positively, Goose.
Well done, well done, well done. You guys do better than Dylan
We
does
should have
every time.
like a confetti gun that goes off after anyone does it. Goes.
Even if we have a virtual one.
Remember when I proposed the idea of pyro down here for?
Yes, you did.
That was like last week.
It was last week. I thought about it more over, and it would be dangerous. We can't do it. I looked it up. Well, no, because in WWE shows they do it, and they're indoors.
It's
but
a stadium.
That's what I.
Dylan,
The ceiling is like 90 feet
That's
high.
what, we don't have the clearance down here. That's
Do
what
you you weren't gonna run this by me, were you?
Oh no! If I got the pyro, I would have ran it by you.
After the.
Yeah. If I got it,
Yeah,
I would
Cal,
run it by you.
yeah, I'm gonna let you know.
We're gonna hear-
100%.
We're gonna
would've told you.
hear Edge's music hit and Pyro go up in the middle of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush.
And then all I'm gonna hear is beep 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 because the smoke alarms are gonna be going
Smoke
off.
alarm. The house is gonna be on fire.
You're gonna hear an explosion before you hear the fire. You think you know me?
It's got fireworks.
That was the last moments they saw on the live stream. Yukio everything before a local NJ house caught on fire.
Oh shit! Oh boy!
I live with someone. All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Goose.
Thank you,
we
my
got
Goose.
$2 more from Natalie Lopez.
Thank you, Natalie.
And
Appreciate
Natalie,
it.
directing this question to Pete,
What is
said,
this?
Wow,
Pete,
it's a question Pete tonight.
Pete, what are your thoughts on the villains so far?
Wow, great question.
I know you kind of touched on it a
kind of
little
touched
bit
on this
before.
earlier. Thank you, Natalie. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, really hasn't been anything great, to be honest. I think Phaser and Tremolo have been the best part in terms of villain. And it looks like they're possibly going to be redeemed again because they're going to get a tragic backstory. So yeah, it's not a thing I've loved in the Rush era. It's just I'm just not going to lie about it and be fake for the podcast.
Yugioh was, I thought, good for the first
Yugioh's
season.
good, but he's a rival.
Yeah,
you know, he serves in that revolver role where he's not the typical rival.
Yeah.
He will do a lot of things for his own means, but when you need him, he's there.
Yeah.
And there's obviously a kinship between him and Yugioh, where I kind of feel like that way in some moments was Yusaku and Revolver. But in terms of an all-out villain, it's not been fantastic.
It's all going to come down to the creator and how he gets executed.
And we kind of put all our eggs in basket at one point with Otis, and that didn't end well.
Right.
So I'm a little bit worried about that. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
I agree.
Natalie, thank you so much.
HG FaZe has been a member for 1 month at Rye Yellow.
Thank you, FaZe.
Thank you.
And I said, my crack theory now based on 62's title is that the brothers of Ryu and their family name is that they could have some kind of connection to the space dragons.
Let me take a look. Those who were born on the star and the Last Dragon Chronicles. True, that is the title for 63. Space dragons we did kind of see with Shubaha, so it wouldn't be completely out of nowhere. That would be a really interesting thing to get back to. Because Shubaha was one of the more interesting one-off characters in my opinion, and the Space Dragon race, it would be cool if there was somehow a connection there, and they alluded to it, 20 episodes ago.
What
so
if it's the Crimson Dragon?
The Crimson Dragon, yeah. That would be something.
Oh, the Crimson Dragon.
That would be something. Not a bad theory there, though, HJ. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. And the Last Dragon Chronicles, they don't use dragons. Right? I mean, they use sea monsters.
I guess in a way they're sea dragons.
Sea dragon.
Well, the Poseidra isn't a sea dragon.
A Hydra. Yeah,
Hydra.
it is.
Yeah,
Yes,
sea
it's
dragon.
a
Straight up
Hydra,
is.
bro.
Poseidon?
Hydra is a sea dragon.
Yeah.
Like he
Poseidon-
controls a Hydra. Like as his
Poseidon.
monster,
Yeah.
it's a sea dragon.
This is.
Okay.
where's he going?
No, okay.
Okay.
Mythology, man.
Nervous for a
Yes,
second.
I think that makes sense. Thank you, HJ.
Thank you, HJ.
We got $2 from Gravity Hero, and Grab said, Dylan, when did Divine get redeemed?
True.
Divine.
He's the one 5D's character that did not. But he wasn't a main villain. He should have been, but he wasn't. Right? I mean, he was a side villain in that
Yeah, he was a good side
DS
villain.
arc. It was fantastic. I mean, he could have been a crazy main villain. But he did not get redeemed. All the main villains of 5Ds, I'd say,
I
did.
mean, what about? Never mind. Well, I'll tell you after. Never mind.
Yeah, he did not though. He definitely.
I don't remember. That's why I'm spacing out. So.
Yeah.
Okay. We got $10 Australian from Electric Kevin.
Thank you.
And Kevin said, oh, wow, this is another 13-episode arc. No surprises there. You know it would be surprising if any of the future arcs weren't around 13 episodes, but that's probably not going to happen.
It's true.
They love segmenting these arcs within 13 episodes, and the only thing that I can think of is it helps them be more structured because they know this is point A, this is point B, this is we can have 8 or 9 duels here. We know the final is going to be a 2, maybe a 3.
And how many weeks are in a year?
52. So
13 is divisible by 52.
Yeah, they know they're going to get
That's simple.
8 full arcs.
A quarter of the year. Every arc is 3 months.
And usually in TV show terms, it's called blocking.
Yes.
It's very easy to block.
Mm-hmm.
So while it's not my favorite thing in the world, it wasn't my favorite thing in the world in Sevens. I think everyone here feels similar. I feel like it's been a little better in Go Rush.
And it hasn't felt rushed.
No.
The pacing has been better.
Yeah.
And some of them kind of, like, we saw at the end of Sevens, they can sometimes bleed over a little bit.
Yeah.
So...
Yugioh is the final one in Arc 1 and Arc 4.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's very true.
Seven's got 7 arcs, I believe. Go Rush should have 8 because there's not going to be that break.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kevin, thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate it.
We got $5 from X Slayer.
Thank you, X.
And X Slayer said, all the things that you say today is completely invalid, just to let you know. Kappa.
Now,
that's the whole message.
You can't ignore him.
Say it.
I will say.
Say it.
Say it.
Say it.
Well, I don't even know what you guys want me to say.
What? Say it! Say what you want to say! What do you
I'm
want
not
to
going to
say?
cancel
Where
X-Slayer. I
you
don't have the
been?
ability to do
Are you gonna banish him?
I'm not going to
Shadow
banish
Realm?
him. No, I'm not going to banish him.
Wow.
X-Slayer is someone who speaks the truth. He speaks his mind.
Wow.
And
Do you fear him?
I respect him.
Yeah.
Fear's
Fear's a form of respect.
I might be a little afraid of X-Slayer.
He knows that. He smells it.
Well,
can smell
I
fear.
have beaten him in a duel before.
How many
times has he
What's your
beaten you,
record
though?
against
I don't
him?
know the record.
Is
But
it
I have,
good?
It's not good for me. But I have beaten him at least twice.
Okay.
How's
Wow.
that good for you?
X-Slayer, thank you, my man. And listen, we'll see if any of this stuff comes true. I think it's gonna. So.
Wow.
Natalie Lopez came back and donated another $2.
Thank you, Natalie.
And Natalie said, "What if Yugioh is the key to break the cycle?" And I think we kind of spoke
touched
on that a little bit.
Yeah.
Which I think is very
yeah.
possible.
Same brain cell.
Yeah, I think he is the key. At least in my mind, the way the story's playing out is that they've tried to stop it now with both Yuamu and Yuki. That's not enough. Everybody that's tried before them has failed. And Yugioh is the new piece. He's something different. He's something they haven't faced before, and I think he's going to cause the timeline to
Could he be the GOAT?
He just might be.
He might be the GOAT.
His jersey will be hanging in the rafters.
He's no King James.
The phony GOAT, you mean?
Oh. We're just gonna.
We also got
that
a
during Shannon's goodbye.
So the poll came out to, again, a total of 98%.
It doesn't make sense.
I don't know.
Make it
Something
make
about
sense.
it.
Oh, it's the 2% that they put in the milk.
I could do some.
Udius being that high is
Damn it.
Udius being that high is not surprising. Phaser and draw no result only get a slim 15.
Sorry, guys. My bad.
Yeah, it's about what I'd expect poll wise.
Yeah, no, I agree with
Natalie,
you.
I do agree with that. I really do.
And then we got $5 from X-Slayer. And X said, "How it felt going attempt number 6 yesterday. Later on, we might go for attempt number 69 just for the sake of it.
So I actually-
And stop being reckless. You already got
All I'm
got
trying to
this.
say
Yeah.
is all Dylan needs to do was be confident in Charmeleon's ability to use Horn Attack, and he would have caught a Mammoth Swine. That's all I'm trying to say. He was so nervous about using Horn. He had to use his phone a friend, and he didn't catch Pokemon.
Well, that's
No,
the,
but I was
that's the new
scared.
run. What about the old run?
Oh, so the old run, I won't lie to you. Sometimes you run into a Pokemon with a
Okay.
broken move. Like Earthquake's pretty tough.
Yeah, I feel
Steelix-
like that's
Steelix
not the
Earthquake.
first time I've watched either you or you lose to Steelix with Earthquake.
It might
I feel
not
like
be.
that's
I think
been-
I've lost to Steelix
I think it's
before.
been a common thing. And then I'm
Yeah,
sitting there
it's-
thinking, I'm laying there watching
Only way
it,
to
and I'm
beat it
like,
is another
is there a way to beat this? I
Yeah.
feel like
water, and I didn't
Yes,
have water.
even then though, because Steel technically I think resists water, or it's neutral to it. So because Steelix is Steel
ground, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Ooh.
tough typing.
That's tough.
Yeah, because fire I think is neutral to it as well. It's like it's a pain. But yeah, no, that was a tough one for you for sure.
Yeah, it's tough.
But you need to catch that Pokemon, man. You need
I
to
know.
catch it. And
I
it's
know.
just-
I was worried I was gonna.
I know.
Charmeleon was gonna.
Well,
die.
always remember it's not same type attack. It's not gonna do as much damage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Charmeleon is physical though, so I understood your fear.
Yeah.
I understood it.
Well, your advice was correct. I got skittish
Too late.
because Charmeleon took a big hit, and
Yeah,
if
of
he took
course.
another hit, he would have died.
I know.
So I got skittish.
You
But
did.
attempt number 69. Why did X-Slayer say that?
I don't know.
I think he's saying it's going to take you that long
I
to
said
win.
in
What's
your
the
chat.
significance of that number? You just didn't
I
even
said-
figure
It's
it
just a
I
lot
hate
bigger than 6.
I said in your chat though that you're gonna win on the
You said it's a
7th
lot.
attempt. Still 7th attempt. I already confirmed 7th attempt.
Seventh attempt. This is the 7th attempt.
yes.
Or this is the 6th attempt.
It's your 6th attempt.
Okay.
You won't.
He has faith in you.
But here's the thing.
And then we're doing a soul.
Oh yeah, the soul lock. So I decided what we'll do is we'll do like anytime we're near a gym, I'll come here and stream with you. Otherwise, I'll do it from there. Because if I'm here every day, I'll kill you.
You could stream it from my room probably. If
He's
you want
right.
to
Maybe that's
use
true
a setup
too.
that's already
that would
there.
save it too. Yeah, but like I'm thinking about because we'll probably do like once a week. We'll just run through it. We're gonna be resetting every week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
That'll
Dylan's
be
gonna do
fun.
something stupid. Dylan's gonna kill like his Pokemon catch will be a Caterpie and mine will be a Lugia and I have to kill it.
One of my favorite moments last night was John comes in, and he literally writes, "Hey man, just letting you know, the rival."
Yeah, no, what I say, I write. Yeah, he's not gonna remember either way.
He's no shot.
Yeah, no shot, he knows it anyway. And then
5
you go up to
minutes
it.
later.
Oh shit!
Oh, I actually.
I was dying. I'm like, John, and John literally writes back to me. There's no way. I'm like, yeah, exactly.
Poor John.
I know
man.
John was just
John
shaking
loves
his head on his
Pokemon.
couch
He loves
watching
Pokemon Play. He knows that game like the back of his
Well, John
hand.
also said to Dill, make sure you get heals.
Heals.
And
Oh, I
Dill's
said-
not paying attention. He clicks on it and goes,
I didn't get heals.
I didn't get heals.
I already locked it in. And then Dylan goes, I already locked it in. I'm like,
for the
yeah.
gym battle, yeah. And we lost Gligar. Yeah, we lost the Pokemon.
Yes,
yeah.
you lost Gligar.
Yeah, fun times. But X-Layer, it will not take 69 attempts. I promise you that.
7.
7. X-Layer, thank you for the super chat. We got a donation from Solid Snack, $2. Thank you, Sora. Said I couldn't catch most of this stream, but wow, that was legitimately a top 10 episode in the whole franchise. Yeah, I don't think I'm overstating it. This was a great. I agree with you there, man. Fantastic episode. I love when.
For real?
I love when media uses time travel to do stuff like this. It's so great. Honestly, a little disappointed it's going to go back to Yugioh versus
exactly
Phaser
how
now.
I felt. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think because it's touched in the summaries as well, Sora, about the carding process, there's a way to save people from being carded. I think the last scene that we got in this episode is right before they're going to come back to the Go Rush timeline.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But
There's still some cool stuff with Yugioh's Phaser, even though I can understand why it's a little like, oh, can we just see what's here? Like,
well, because the last 2 episodes now have been all of that.
Yes, but there's still some really good stuff with Yugioh's Phaser because we don't know what Phaser's secret is. The creator plays a part in this. This could be a huge turning point in saving the timeline.
Yep.
So I think after 63, we'll be like, wow, this is also like, we've got 2 really compelling storylines right now, and that's awesome.
I also think it's going to be interesting how long it's going to take to kind of go back to that. Like that, like the 7's kind of timeline, because they might not know how to get back there once they're brought back.
Once the carding process is destroyed, yeah, I don't know.
Like that at that point, it's like they got so close, right, to seeing who's actually in that ship.
Yeah.
And then boom, you're gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a thing. It's a good point because it's a thing that now that we know this is not an interquill, we're not constrained by. All right, we're skipped 2 years now. He comes back 2 years later. This has to match up. Like, they got to wrap this up pretty quickly. Now that we're, let's say 200 years in the past, just because we could spend 10 years in the past and still come back 2 years later from where we left. So that's how time travel works.
Absolutely. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Who's the character in the rocket? I still think that's going to get answered in this show, but it might not get answered until the very end, honestly. Yeah. It might not.
It's going to get answered in Yu-Gi-Oh! 9.
It could get. I don't think they'll wait that long. I will say, it's telling to me because 5 arcs will be done. We have 3 left, you'd imagine, which is crazy to say, right? We have 3 arcs left of this show. I mean, that's scary.
That is scary.
Like that's insane. If it goes 2 years, which you're assuming it does. If the arc 6 is just kind of like your tournament arc, I don't think we're going to get anything 7's related in there. And then 7, 8 might be creator. And then I think that's where it fires up.
You think we get
tournament arc? I think is going to just buy time to just put us back into the Go Rush world. Have some weird stuff going on in the background.
Maybe reintegrate us because we've kind of been a little bit further from what's going on.
Yuga's competing in the tournament, right?
I don't think so. No, I think it'll be Go Rush characters.
So I was gonna say, what if like a Sirocco or that girl? Like, I don't think she would be in it, but like
the creator, not that
somebody that we've seen on both sides is kind of plays a role in the tournament somehow.
That would be cool
because it would keep that lingering. You know what I mean? Like if it's Sirocco, right, who we saw at the end, just disappear into space basically.
Yeah,
comes back and now is part of this tournament. It's like, wait a minute, we just saw her in the future. What is she doing here? And it just keeps that thought in the back of your head.
I got a crazy, impossible theory, but imagine it was a tournament where the variants versus each other.
Yeah, like Rovi and Roman.
Yeah, that would be
cool.
Wow.
And then Otis and Yuga.
Wait, you mean
Yuga and Yuga?
Exactly.
It would be super cool. A lot of possibilities with the tournament, so that's a lot of fun. And tournament can again bring us matchups that we would normally not see.
Yeah.
So that's why tournaments can be really cool with Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Limestone, thank you for the $2 donation. Are Dylan's Funkos a future investment? Is he going to pass them on to the next generation?
Probably not.
So great question. I think when my kids are old enough
they're gonna take him out of the box.
I knew you were gonna say that.
To handle something like the Funko Pops, I think I would let them. I think once they know the value of the Funkos, then I'd be completely fine with them. Maybe owning 1 or 2.
Do you know how many you have, by the way?
I don't know how many I have.
Okay, I do.
Owning 1 or 2. But they're not a future investment. To be fair, and I've said this a lot, there are a good amount that I am planning on selling soon. I just need to find time to list them.
Stop saying soon.
He's never selling them.
No, I am going to sell them.
Yeah, there you go. That's better. But don't say sell them soon.
Soonish.
No.
Well, what does soon mean to you?
Dylan, you
soon
said
to me is within 3
you
months.
said that 6 months ago. You
No,
yes,
because I didn't
did.
start until March, so I said it maybe. 3
Why
months
don't you
ago.
just pay me to set up a whole thing to just sell the ones you want to sell?
That's an extra
That you're getting the middleman. Why would
You're cutting the bottom line.
Yeah, I can do it. I just need time.
No, but you're not gonna do it. So let me do it.
No, I need time.
That means you're being a coward. You're not gonna sell any of them.
No, I'm gonna sell them.
Why'd you get the big Lapras though? Honestly,
Why not?
It was a good deal, a deep discount. Anyway, Limestone, thank you for the donation. And thank you guys all for what's been a wonderful, amazing journey.
make sure you buy these shirts on Whatnot.
Make sure, Whatnot stream should be next Tuesday night. We're going to open a box break of Wild Survivors, the new dinosaur Yu-Gi-Oh box. Very excited for that. New shirt designs are coming as well.
What?
Two new designs. They'll probably
Am I gonna buy more shirts?
Well, you don't have to. There's
Son
no
of a-
pressure.
No, we have to.
Yeah, okay.
He
you don't
forces
have
us
to.
behind
You
the
kidding
scenes.
me?
They'll probably be the final shirt designs that I do for a while. So
You better put extra cheese
They
on
will
this
be
pizza.
more Yu-Gi-Oh related. There will be a UDS shirt that says UDS, like the UDS chants, and then a Let's Rev It Up Yu-Gi-Oh 5Ds.
Let's
themed
rev
shirt.
it up.
So
Crap,
that'll be out hopefully by the end of the month. But guys, I want to thank you all so much for being here. You guys are incredible. To everybody who donated and super chatted, thank you. You do not know how much it truly helps me out, how much it helps out this channel, how much it helps out the production of this stream. So thank you very much, and a huge thank you to the boys, Cal, Nick T, Dredge, and Pete, as always, for coming on and helping me out. It is super appreciated. They do some great stuff in the content creation sphere outside of this podcast. I'm going to start with Caliber. We'll go down the list. All of their stuff is linked down below. It'll probably be spammed in the chat by Dak. Dak for the win. Awesome, dude. Follow him on Twitch as well. I'm going to let Caliber start. Let's go. Thank you guys all for being here.
All right, Dill, thank you for that intro. As you guys know, I'm Cal. I stream over on Twitch at twitch.tv/CalBreezy. That's CalBreeZzy. I streamed yesterday, actually, and I played some Call of Duty Warzone.
Whoa.
So that was fun. It was a good time. Got a couple dubs.
Oh, you got dubs?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah,
good.
yeah. So,
Okay.
so we did well. But yeah, I streamed that, Valorant. Sometimes we'll play Fortnite. I know Dredge was trying to play some Fortnite yesterday.
I was trying to get you stream Fortnite yesterday. I was really willing to help you, but no.
I would love to do a Nuzlocke myself. I just need to make sure I have the time and to commit to something like that, because
It's true.
I'm not as good at Pokemon as probably Dredge or
Hey,
Dylan.
hey,
Thank you.
you can't be as bad as this guy.
I know.
Now here's the thing: off screen, great player. On screen, when the pressure's on, can't make it.
I'm good at Pokemon Go. I'm not good at the mainline Pokemon games because I'm not patient
You're
enough.
good at spending money in Pokemon Go, but you're not.
I don't.
We're
I
back
don't-
on that again.
I'm not going to comment on that, but
I won't comment.
Yeah.
Don't comment.
Dredge, I was playing my own Nuzlocke when I was at my brother's house because I had some extra
Yeah, of
time. I was
course.
watching the dogs
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah.
I lost 2 Nuzlocks in like 3 hours. And I was
Yeah.
just like, damn.
Hey, it happens.
It happens.
Sometimes you run to something.
It's always like right after the first gym too. It's like
Because you're feeling good.
Yeah.
And then you run to like a wild Pokemon that's level 8. Like, oh, I'm
no,
good.
not
and
even
then it
that.
hits you.
It's like you run into a trainer and you're like, oh, they only have one Pokemon and it's
It's
level
Mewtwo.
16, and you're like, yeah,
Mewtwo.
it's a level
Ah.
16 Entei,
Oh,
and
that'll
I'm
do it.
rocking like
That'll do
a
it.
like a freaking Weeping Bell, and I'm like, well, I'm screwed.
Yeah,
That's
that's
it.
not good.
And then
Toast.
GG,
Especially
you know.
Weeping Bell.
Yeah, well, that's the
Weepinbell,
problem.
grass poisoning, it's a fire. I didn't
Arguably
even
the
learn.
ugliest Pokemon of all time.
Actually,
I've heard
I don't
different
know.
opinions.
Trubbish is up there.
oh my
yeah,
god,
that's true.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, that's really all I do, and I'll send this one over to Nick T. I think he's got some big stuff coming up. So.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So what's up? I'm Nick T. I also occasionally stream. I've been sort of
AWOL?
inactive, a little AWOL lately. Hopefully returning. But you can find me on twitch.tv/NickFightsMoms, where I'll stream some emulated retro content, whether it's what was I playing? Ape Escape or Fire Emblem, you name it. I've also been doing Minecraft, which might make a return later. I've been getting the itch for that lately. But I also do some music streams where I perform from a variety of cover songs that I like, as well as
We're playing it right now in the
They're
background.
hearing that?
Yep,
Oh,
yep.
cool.
Pisces.
I like that. From a variety of cover songs I like, as well as my own original music. And if you're interested in that original music, you can actually follow this Linktree link that Dak is posting, as well as actually the link that Andrew's posting there, rewinding. And you can find the links to all my socials, to all the places you can stream and buy the music that's already out, as well as the top link in that link tree is the pre-save link for my upcoming single, Hard to Trust, which comes out in 9 days. Or just about 9 days. So go follow those links, check out the songs, follow me on all the socials. All the links are there in that link tree that Dak shared, so you can follow me and hit all the stuff. So check that out.
Hard to Trust is about someone that I know very well, and it's a fantastic song. One of my favorites he's ever written.
He's not wrong. He's not a
He's
lie.
not. Everything he said is true.
Huge motivator. The reason the channel performs at the level it does is because of
That's where I knew it was
Yep,
going.
the person that Nick T
no, he's
wrote
not
the song
lying. You know
about.
what?
No.
I respect that.
So definitely get that song, because it's a great song.
I'm Dredge, stream twitch.tv/DredgeNator. We are back. I streamed twice in a 3-day span. Pete was there.
I was there.
He was being helpful. Cal was there. He was hoping for a Electabuzz, Magmar, and Alakazam. Dylan, we actually caught Dylan slacking because he's just so lazy. I'm just kidding. But no, come check that out. We're gonna be streaming Saturday afternoon. So come on in there, play some Pokemon, have some fun. Pete.
Yeah, do a channel, Closed Gamers. You know it. It's not been anything going on over there, but if you want to watch some old content, go ahead. And yeah, follow me on Twitter, PeteRicardo21.
Thank you, Pete, Dredge, Nick T, Cal, for taking time out of your days to do this. I really do appreciate it, as always. And thank you guys all so much for listening. This has been Talking Yu-Gi-Oh! Crazy 8, episode 62, Cat to the Future. Thank you all so much. We'll see you next week for some more Crazy 8s. 191 days to go until Jump Festa, until Yu-Gi-Oh! 9 gets announced. Love you guys. Thank you all, and I hope you have an amazing day. Take care, guys. Good night.
Good night.